So, with the intro, Cam.
Is this it?
So for the intro, we'll just talk about doing the intro. It's really meta. No, because we like both host the podcast. I thought we could maybe both do like the hello and welcome to the Moth Pod bit.
Acapella it.
Okay. Acapella it.
What are we doing?
Hello and welcome to the Man of Five Films podcast.
Wait, me and Reece
and then
do
I'll take it from there. Because we both host, I thought it'd be nice to like.
Hello and welcome to the Man of Five Films podcast.
Yeah. So we'll do it on 3. 1. Hello and welcome to the Man on Fire Films podcast with me, Jack Morris from Man on Fire Films. Welcome to Man on Fire Films Encore week. We're doing nostalgia, but this doesn't mean the podcast's back.
We're back.
Oh my god! It's Jack Thomas Reece. Oh no, it's not. No, it's not.
What?
Motherfucker. It's Jack Morris, Cameron Morris, Reece speaking Jack Thomas.
Oh my
for
god.
Man on Fire Films.
And John Webster.
John Webster.
He's here.
He's here.
Hey John, how you feeling, man?
Well,
get him a mic.
No, well, we only got 4, as everyone knows. And JT stole John's mic, so
Yeah, it's mine now.
My fault.
yeah, he's
I
just gonna sit
put on
And
the
his
work
virginity.
Oh. I did send him dick pics, so.
Just
Roll that up.
confess
there.
that.
Hey everybody, who wants
I
one?
mean, yeah, I think we did a good job, like circulating around that for the last few months.
Yeah.
Well, we're ending now. so
Despite
fuck it.
It doesn't mean the videos get deleted.
no.
What?
You can't be arrested
do you
if you
mean?
only mention it once. It's,
It's not illegal. I mean, if he had a problem with it, then yeah, it'd be a problem. But he didn't.
you don't know that he didn't have a
I
problem
know
with
him.
You go to 0800 dick
All right,
pics
all
to
right,
get
all right.
JT's
Give
dick
us
pics.
the context. Give us your side of the story.
No, don't.
JT.
The real
Don't-
thing is
I don't think we
no,
should talk
no.
about this.
It's okay. The real thing is
It's okay.
I didn't explain myself.
we're actually together now, so
Oh,
it's
that's
fine.
fine then.
And we're
Oh,
actually
yeah,
the
fine.
same person too, which is kind of weird. But
So you're
that's how
masturbating
it works.
again.
That's true. Actually, I've never seen you and John in the same room.
I am masturbating again. What was that?
Yeah, you must be.
It's another thing that doesn't have context at all.
I like the dilemma.
I'm trying to give up jerking off. Throwing that out.
But
there.
also sending a dick to people.
yes,
Trying to give that up too.
that's my new addiction.
I think, you know the funny qualm of like, if you have sex with a clone of yourself, is it sex or is it masturbation?
Incest and masturbation.
Yeah, that's the one.
I think it's gay. If I had sex with myself, that's what that would be.
Okay, fine.
Oh,
But that's really not,
is gay.
that's really not the issue.
what video is it? We had to bleep him.
We're just ruining his reputation now. Who's Brawlhalla?
That's the one.
I don't
That
think-
sword's gay.
I mean, I
Big
guess,
gay sword.
Christ. Yeah.
I guess it is gay, but that's not the interesting part of the question.
I'm just gaffing.
That'd be a great way to like ruin, since this is
Well,
like the
yeah.
last week.
Well, your clone isn't your sibling, though, is it? It's you.
Well, but
Yeah.
what I was
It's
saying
not
is,
incest.
I think it's funny that JT would be less worried about that.
I'm more worried about it being gay.
incest And more. No, JT, why are you digging yourself a hole?
I've had enough, all right? I'm going in.
JT's
I'm
really-
all in today.
I think in JT's head, when the channel ends, he ends. So like he has nothing to worry about.
It's like last day on Earth shit.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like scorched Earth.
This is all I have.
Next week, I'm existing in the future. When the last video on Man of Five Films goes out, you can still be held accountable for shit that happened in videos,
What do
right?
you mean?
It's like a fire sale. Everything must go.
Burn the evidence.
So explain the dick pics, JT.
No, let's move on.
One
liked
day,
them. It was fun.
JT sent dick pics to somebody.
That's what happened.
Moving on.
Unsolicited.
That's what happened. I was there and I was like, I look pretty good
Are any
today.
dick pics
Someone
listed
needs
as
to see this. And I was like, who do
Someone
I
needs
want
to see
to
this. You realise that's
show?
probably what every Hollywood dickhead said.
Yeah.
When he
Def-
did all
oh
the
no!
terrible things.
Oh no!
Someone needs
Oh
to see
no!
It's like Louis C.K.'s head.
Louis,
no.
no, damn it, doesn't work.
All right, that's the story anyway.
It's not a story. It's not
It's
a good
great
thing,
story.
JT.
It
It's
has
not a
it has
good thing.
It's
beginning,
fine.
a middle, and an end.
It's fine.
Have
We
a
worked
wank.
out for now.
Please,
Just get it over with.
for the love of God.
How many days up to now, JT?
6 today. Did you say that then as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You
know-
said
know
5
me.
yesterday.
You know me.
I know you.
Reece has got a calendar.
Yeah. I'm tracking it.
How's Jack doing today then? Let's have a look.
He's got an app.
He's doing
JT's
alright.
masturbation tracker.
I wait for a text every day, and I look at it, and it's either a tick or a cross.
So you know, in like villains in like action movies, where they're like, if I don't send them a text every hour, they're gonna kill her, so you can't kill me.
It's
Like,
like that.
he's like holding JT's dick hostage.
he's like paid off snipers for the next 20 years to always watch GT's dick. Yeah, I was thinking about that for all how I think it'd be funny if on this last week we go back through. Obviously, we're not going to fucking do it, but it would be funny if we went back and just revealed everything we've ever censored. Just
yeah.
why the fuck not?
Oh yeah, we'd all be in jail.
That fucking Quiplash video.
Maybe not the Quip. Maybe that's the one we skip. Maybe that's
no. You fucking scorched earth policy there, so it's
Yeah.
happening.
Quiplash is
Quip,
like
I stand by Quiplash. I just don't stand by the two things in that video being next to each other. Either one of them on their own, fine. Both the jokes next to
we
each other.
can't talk about this. The audience is gonna be so annoyed.
That
They're
is
gonna be like, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's true.
Quiplash is like the one game that I think inspires people to be like
Oh
terrible
yeah,
people.
yeah. How
Yeah.
much taboo can you throw in? Like,
Yeah,
you know?
because
It's the
a
name of
lot
the game.
I've never
times.
seen, I heard somebody say taboo before. Taboo. It's so taboo.
We need taboo.
Oh, boother.
It's like the one thing is like, you know, sometimes the
Do you
most
want to get a
scandalous.
smidgen closer to that mic? Or is it my
My close to it already.
yeah,
Is it my perspective?
It
It
might
looks
be
like you're far away.
perspective.
Okay.
It's like
Two fingers.
Oh, you're fine, yeah.
Fuck, what was I saying? Oh yeah, a lot of times like the votes will go to the most absurd one because in the moment
Oh,
it might not be
yeah.
like
It hits you
the
the hardest.
funniest technically, but like if you're looking at them both, if one is like the most horrible thing
Yeah.
ever, it's gonna hit.
Shock
you.
value is the name of the game in
Yeah,
Quiplash for
definitely.
sure. That being said, you know in the last round in Quiplash 2, you don't it's not like you just pick 3. It's like gold, silver, and bronze.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did. It's the only time I've ever got all gold. Like everyone voted for gold, and the question it was something like insert screw into a meal to make a new meal. And
Okay.
that it's a stupid. Like, how do you be funny off that? That's a stupid fucking prompt. So my answer was frosted screwdies, like as one word. All right, I thought I was going to get a bigger laugh than it did because the room went fucking wild. For it.
yeah.
Maybe it works better when it's wrote out.
Maybe.
Frosted screwies.
No, frosted screwdies.
Oh my
What?
God.
Frosted shreddies.
Yeah.
You on a stroke?
It's going to smell burnt toast.
What's left after your face drooping like that?
I just look like that.
There we go. That was a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
Moving
that
on.
was easily the funniest thing I've ever
I
said in
would've voted
Quiplash.
for the
I don't
face
think any of
joke.
you got it. It's really funny.
It's my
It's a subversion of expectations where instead of making a new food, I just put the word screw in the middle of another food.
Oh right, I get where you're coming from now, but I think
It's really funny.
I mean,
I'm
I'd have
so
to-
proud of it. I took
Maybe
a-
if I read it,
Yeah,
maybe.
subjective. Comedy's subjective. Come on.
You're subjective.
Yeah.
I don't think you're that
I
tall.
exist.
Just as disappearing.
Back to the Future theme plays.
That's ruined my day.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's all right. Let's get it back. Let's
Okay.
bring it back. Come on.
I thought
Okay,
for the last podcast,
something funny, quick.
I thought for the last podcast I'd read out. So I like every so often I'll come up with like bits that I could possibly do during videos.
I do the same thing.
Because you're a
And-
robot.
Like yeah, because I'm a robot and everything's pre-planned.
JT and I work off the cuff.
Look at this.
And
Bananas.
like, most of them I got to do.
Ooh, fruit.
Like for example, like I wrote down like pack my bag with a bunch of crazy shit and like bring it out, and that happened, and a bunch of other stuff. But I didn't get to do a lot of stuff, and I thought that I would read out some of the stuff I didn't get to do.
I'm gonna clarify what Cam's saying there, just so we don't end up starting a false rumor in the last week. He writes down prompts. He doesn't like write down.
no, I don't write
you should
scripts.
say this now, then say that,
No,
then
yeah.
hopefully JT will say
Yeah,
that. Then
It's
it's
like
not.
a general bit idea.
Yeah. Which
Well,
I do.
okay.
I do a similar thing.
Did you have a reminder? You had a reminder just then,
Oh
right?
no, I knew this was
Alright.
going to come up.
You
I
had a
thought I-
reminder
Oh
just then.
no.
On his phone,
What did
right?
it say, Reese?
I said, I'm pretty sure it said, be the best you can be.
Oh.
I have a reminder. I thought this was going to survive.
If you need to remind yourself to be a good person.
Every day I have a reminder
The
that
next one's
comes
like,
up.
don't murder.
Yeah.
Every day on my phone, I have a reminder that pops up at 9 a.m. and doesn't go away until I've clicked it. That says, remember to be the best person you can be. And I only click it until I've done something that I think is worthy of that.
Guys.
And I try to click it every day.
Yeah.
When's the last time you clicked it?
Guys, I'm sorry, but I really like that.
Yes,
I really like
nice.
it too.
That's really nice.
I think
Fucking-
it's good.
I'm glad we're ending.
That's why his optimism.
why.
Sick of it.
Just fucking stupid. Come on.
He now has to
Fucking
hate for the two of us as well. He's got to amplify it.
Fuck's sake.
It's just sometimes you forget.
What, to be a good person?
Yeah,
No,
like
I
you get
agree.
wrapped
I
in
get that
shit.
a lot.
You get wrapped up in shit, and then you're like, oh, fuck, man, I forgot to do the
Trying to
best.
slap a child.
Oh, wait. No. Don't slap a child.
Thank you, iPhone. I could have gotten a lot of shit. If JT had a reminder like this on his phone, maybe he wouldn't have fucking sent John dick pics. That's all I'm saying.
What, reminder, don't send John dick pics.
We already
I
said
need
it
one.
was John because you were saying person. You were skirting
No,
around
we
it.
said-
John.
I think
You
you said
introed
John.
it with, because we were talking
Yeah,
about
we were
John.
talking about
Oh,
John.
I sent him
Yeah.
dick pics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. Yeah.
So yeah, so
Hey, John.
And he's never responded.
Yeah, he said
He said that's a
gave me
nice
nice
dick.
compliment. Give me a few.
That's some good dick right there.
It was nice.
You know,
I
that's
liked it.
John though, right? Like he was
What
never
about
going to
that?
say anything
I
but
kind of
that.
feel like he'd be a bit too kind of afraid
No,
to say anything.
no.
Yes, yes.
I clarified with
To be
him.
fair, I haven't seen John in years. He might be
What
like a grizzled biker by now, so.
Highly possible.
He's killed a few men by now.
That was the fakest fake laugh. Are we allowed to do arcade crowd bits back on Manifire Films? Is that, or do we have to go
Most
back?
of these bits were supposed to be arcade crowd bits.
We didn't have any bits of Manifire.
No, I mean
we
the-
weren't
the-
funny in
the-
Manifire.
We're just scraping it out.
Pretty solid. I was telling JT about how unfunny he was earlier, and I was saying about how like much the. I guess I don't know. So we say bitting, but it's when we say it like that, it sounds like we think we invented it. Where obviously we didn't. But like the more improv-y, just rolling with shit is something that definitely developed more over the real end of Manifire Films, where we were just basically doing arcade crowd anyway. You know, we were doing arcade crowd, but calling it.
Other than shows like Jack and Cam, there weren't a lot of opportunities to do bits.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, watching people
Watching
do
videos.
There's more of a
relays or-
structure to it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, but then to like way towards the end of Manifire Films, when we started just making the arcade crowd style Let's Plays, then all of arcade crowd, there was definitely a lot more of development of just roll with it and try to just create something out of nothing. And I went back and watched. Do you remember when we opened 30 loot boxes in Overwatch, Cam?
And we were trying to get something, worth it, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just, I thought it'd be fun, and I thought, pull back the curtain, I thought it would get some views.
Oh,
'cause
they make bank.
Yeah.
Those
Ours didn't.
Yeah.
You actually opened 30.
That's a lot. I didn't buy any.
You have to open like 100 or something.
At
for them to
least.
give a shit.
At least.
I should have just lied and said it was 100. We've already opened 6.
Right, we're tired now. End of the video.
Just like
30's
really
enough.
obviously edited the video, so it's like just put an extra 0 on the end of the 30. But I was watching that video. I was like, oh, I forgot we made this. I wonder what our videos were like way back then. That was like 2016. It's like we're still sat at the computer. You guys are behind
Was
me.
it 2016?
It was later 2016,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
Because that was while we were definitely still doing the Manifire Films like show shit alongside the occasional
It
gameplay.
feels like a fucking lifetime ago.
Well, it definitely was specifically for you. I was telling JT about this the other day. I asked.
You were really shit in that video, but now you're not as shit.
I mean, like, you shit, but
But
not as
like
shit.
this much. I'm doing a tiny little amount here. This much less.
This visual joke. No, but in the video, I tell JT to like, it's your turn, JT. You click the mouse and you tell me what to get. And the box opens, and there's shit in it. So I turn around, and this is like, especially people who've been watching Arcade Girl, this is like a classic me trying to get a reaction out of JT. So I turn around and go like, JT, you fucking suck. What was that? Why'd you click that? I got such shit loot. Nowadays, JT be like, you fucking, he'd, react and give a reaction. Whereas in that video, he goes, I clicked the mouse, and I opened the box. There wasn't anything in it. And that's it. That was your contribution to that joke. We just carry on with the video. That would like never happen now. That would be like a fucking 5-minute.
Yeah.
We'd rip you to pieces if you did that now.
That'd be it.
We're like,
Man, game over.
maybe if you had more
Cameras are
strength in
fairy,
your
you
noodly
overboard.
arms,
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
have been able to get something better.
Yeah. It'll work out more to get better stuff.
Oh man. So I have a couple bits that I didn't get
What
to
you got?
use, and I'd like to. If I had done these bits, do you think they would have gone over well?
The
No.
last one would have.
So the first one is just writing all over my body, and then like start taking pieces of clothing
Well, I
off,
mean,
and
yeah.
there's like crazy like I'm gonna kill John Webster or
What,
like
preempted.
you know.
Getting a
You
lot
do
of
it before you.
Yeah, I would do it before
Like
turning
a
up.
memento.
John's not having a good time in this podcast.
Poor John.
I would do
Love
it
you, John.
before turning up, and you guys would look at me and be like, "Oh, it's fine." And then as I tore off pieces of cloth
Yeah.
during the
I-
recording,
I-
you'd be like, "What the hell?"
I'd probably give you
Yeah.
one laugh.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the
Like
thing.
a
One fake laugh.
So you'd write it on yourself because Jen wouldn't help you for that.
Oh no.
No. So it'd be the worst writing. It'd either be like horrifically like written or like backwards.
Yeah, like I
Because,
wrote it in the mirror.
Yeah, you write it in the mirror, and so it's just like, what does that say? I have no idea.
There's something we're skirting over here that I think ties in neatly to what I was saying just now about like the development of the way we approach comedy. Is that Cam suggested a bit of him taking off items of clothing, and none of us went, well, that would be the weird part. It's like, obviously, yeah, he's going to take off his clothes, but he needs something else now.
That is funny that I'm like skipping. I'm already assuming that I'm gonna take my clothes off. What can I do to make that funny?
How can I make that funny?
I remember one time you like did it and you like put when you put your hands beneath your shorts.
Yeah,
do like
yeah.
the weird Zoidberg.
You know that thing I do all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were doing it, and then you were doing it for ages, and you were like looking around, and nobody was reacting anymore, and you were like, "What do I do now?" Like they didn't
literally,
no
you brought
reaction
like a
to it
crisis.
anymore.
Yeah, you brought it up. And we were like, yeah, we know.
We know what you're doing, Cam. We can
Yeah, we
see
know.
it.
We're over it.
It's so
I
funny.
was like, I don't even know what to do. The second one is print out an entire Wikipedia. I just thought that would be funny.
A Wikipedia, is
Just-
that Star Wars?
Wikipedia,
Yeah,
Star
it's
Wars.
like the Wikipedia of Star Wars. And then everyone here just cough up blood. I have no idea. I have no idea how I would have gone about doing that.
That would have been
You
amazing.
can get like capsules for Halloween, for, like dress up stores.
Oh
You
yeah,
get
yeah, yeah.
capsules, and then like you'll just like look away for a second, and put one in, and it's like I don't know, it feels so good.
That would have been so fucking good. Oh man, yeah, that would have been a good one. I like
Let
that
me see
one.
if I can find any other ones. Oh, here we go. Bits. I
Folder labeled bits.
do have a folder labeled bits. Oh, but I can't find them. I remember some of them though.
One's called #important.
Oh,
So one of them was to print out a photo of Jeff Goldblum, stick it to my stomach, and then I would go the whole day wait until the last video, and then I would reveal it and be like, Jeff Goldblum's my spirit or something like that. I don't know. A lot of these didn't go anywhere. I was just trying to think of things. But
A
yeah,
lot of these are just you taking your shirt off.
well, like I gotta conceal it somewhere.
Cam, just do what the rest of us do. Take your shirt off, take a photo, send it to John. All right, that's
yeah, do that. That goes well.
Just my shirt. Oh. But yeah,
you got to
I-
work your way up to it.
It's weird. I just
You have to work your way up to it.
No, I'm an all-in
Look,
kind
that's
of guy.
Depends
creepy.
who
That's
JT.
creepy. If JT sends a photo is like torso, and then all of a sudden it's like his legs, and it's creeping up and up and up to his like bulge, where he has like just pants on, and then it's like a weird strip show he's sending in there.
Then he gets to Dick John's got a template. Like, those are nice thighs. That's a nice belly. That's a nice ab. That's a nice dick.
That's a good boy.
He's a good boy. But I don't know, man. I just like sometimes you gotta think of bits beforehand. 'Cause it's
Sure.
hard to like.
Sure,
Some
if
do
you're
things.
if you're a robot.
The only bit I planned was there's been a murder on the dance floor.
That was funny.
That saved an otherwise shite video.
A murder
No.
on the dance floor.
What was that? Cry of Fear?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
What was Cryophere?
It was...
Was I there?
That was... Yeah, it was scared.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've already done
scared
that.
crowd, remember?
It was. Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
was a fun month.
That was a week.
Oh, that was a fun
Yeah.
week. That was.
Yeah, it was just a week, JT. We got a month of Halloween games.
Because we struggled to fill a week of Halloween games.
We ended on Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, that was
Oh.
scraping the barrel. Really,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
The
Remember that?
fucking... We didn't start with Fear, right? We started with Emily Wants to Play,
Ugh.
which was awesome because of JT's reaction. Then we went from that to Fear.
Which was just funny.
And Fear was just funny. Those two games setup checks the rest of the week could not
Yeah.
possibly
Yeah,
cash.
what else was that? There was the one you mentioned earlier. was
Cry of
that?
Fear. Cry of Fear was funny, but in the...
That was the
how
texting
bad
your
it was.
mum one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
What
was
are
fun.
you?
What are you?
Then there was that fucking Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Oh,
wasn't a Five Nights at
Oh,
Freddy's
they
game.
tricked us.
Yeah. Joy of Creation.
They got
No,
us.
we didn't know it was a Five Nights
Yeah,
at
they
Freddy's.
did.
Yeah, that's why they
us.
tricked us. Yeah, and it was just bland and not that fun at all.
What's the new one where you like slap spaghetti?
Oh yeah.
It's like
I've
it's
seen
like
that.
left.
You know, JT.
You like, yeah, you like slap spaghetti, and if you don't do it right, then the monsters get you.
What the fuck? That's
Yeah.
so crazy.
I'm very glad we don't make
We've
videos
entered the
anymore.
postmodern world in video games.
Where memes are like memes of themselves at this point.
Yeah,
It's awful.
Totally.
And then, there was that fucking Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Oh, that was really
Oh,
cool.
bang.
Yeah, that suffered just because it was a good game.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah,
just...
we were all totally
shit.
silent, just
Yeah.
like really enjoying
Yeah,
it. Like,
it was
oh,
just
yeah.
awesome.
This is really good game design.
Yeah. I love
Love
that
the
game. It was
style.
so cool.
Yeah,
I
it
love that
was.
we were like, we're gonna do more of this,
Mm.
and then we ended the channel.
Yeah.
We're going out.
There's a lot of that. Remember
like we
Human
see
Fall Flat?
Yeah.
How we totally finished that game?
It's like when you see a friend that you haven't seen for like years. And you're like, oh, we should hang out again. Yeah, it'd be fun. Yeah. And
And then nothing happens.
then they
with it.
die.
then, yeah. And then life ceases.
Oh no! At least we finished our Minecraft. Oh wait.
At least we finished our house.
I finished the house. No, I finished the house.
Yeah, Reese finished the house.
I fell in a lot of holes and...
You can call it
I got
that.
lost a bunch.
Oi,
Oh.
wanna fucking go?
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Oh!
Hey.
What was everyone... you got more bits, Scam?
Well, I also have ideas of YouTube shows that I was gonna make. I didn't know where I was gonna make them, whether it was going Man on Fire, because this goes back ages,
Okay.
and some of them are quite funny. One of
Sounds
them
interesting.
specifically I wanted to bring up.
Sorry, I just realized. I like that. I didn't know if we were going to, like, get retrospective of Reminisce at all during this podcast. I kind of hoped we would, but I wasn't going to try and force it if that's not the way it went. But I like that on the like, comeback special of the Man of Fire Films podcast, all we've done is talk about arcade crowd videos. Like, 100%.
This one was going to be on Man on Fire. It's called Bricking It. And literally, it was one of those ideas where I came up with a name and then tried my best to think of a show.
What could it be about?
It did. And it ended up being...
Why did you like the name so much? Because of the pun or
Because
what?
I wanted to make something to do with Jenga. So I was like, bricking
I
it.
remember you telling me.
So then
about
what it was going to be was people would play Jenga.
this.
And as they played Jenga, they would talk about their biggest fears. That was literally it. And it would go as long as the Jenga game tower stood.
Right.
And then when it fell, the video would end.
What
So if someone was like getting really deep and being like, because my,
it would just
my
stop.
father, like when I was a kid,
Like, push it over.
yeah, when he was a kid, it really got, and then it would fall, and then he wouldn't be able to.
Can I improve this
That's kinda
idea?
funny.
I reckon a
Okay.
loser has to face their fear.
What? Like you bring in your long lost dad, and he's got a belt in his hand.
Oh, fuck. Christ.
Your fear?
No, I'm just saying, like it wouldn't
No,
be like spiders. It would be like something.
Like psychological fear.
Yeah,
deep-
like something
deep shit.
like
That
failure
really
or-
affects
We
you
could
deep.
do that. We could do that.
It's gone
I
now.
think I won it then.
Yeah,
It's out there now.
everyone's gonna do it now.
Yeah, it's with the new hot thing. Fuck Fortnite. Everyone's bricking it now.
What was that hand?
There's a
That's
hashtag.
the song.
What?
Hashtag bricking
this
it.
fucking world.
Hashtag bricking it.
Is that how people do hashtags?
No, we
No,
Oh,
no.
well.
Let's not say people. Let's not give them that kind of credit.
Cameron Reese and Lewis. We used to do that when we watched
I don't
War
know
of the Planet of the Apes.
That's kind of cool.
we
Oh,
were like,
no.
I like it.
No,
I'm going to do
sorry.
it too.
No.
Dawn of the
Dawn
Planet
of the Planet of the Apes.
When we watched Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, we came out. We were like, "Oh fuck, the sign language is so
Oh,
cool."
right, yeah,
so we were
yeah.
like doing it, and and then the bit became, "What if the apes like used Twitter?" They were like, "Hashtag, hashtag
Family.
All right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, you guys can't see what we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm basically doing a little thing
Oh
with
yeah,
my
I just
fingers
realized
where I
how
make
much
a
of a visual
hashtag.
bit that is.
We are good for podcasts.
The rest of the podcast is in sign.
I like how we all took the approach of make noise with your hand to make
Yours
sure.
is nowhere near the mic.
Mike.
Shut up.
Shut up, you don't know me.
Shut up, Greg. God, I'm tired.
Yeah,
Bye.
What did you say?
All right, yeah, I forgot that's the rule.
Did you say you're tired?
What did you think I said?
I'm tired.
Oh yeah, I did say
Oh,
that.
you did say that? Okay.
Oh, I thought you were gonna have some like exciting thing of what I thought I said.
No.
We'll make something up.
All right. I thought you said. No, I ain't got
You need
it.
to stop putting pressure on people. Funny enough, in this old fold,
That was pressure. That's what it
Was
sounds like.
it?
Pushing down on you.
Look, I
that
haven't done it in a
pressure?
while.
Was that
Okay, it's been
6
6 days. All right.
and then I just
Everything
opened,
sounds like it.
He sleeps like it.
then I just opened a Facebook video. You know those ones where it's like, "Oh, this is a really cute
Oh,
animal," and it's like, "Yeah."
Or when you watch Game Grumps.
Funny enough, I have this is a really old folder of like show ideas, and in here is Legend of Korra and Wi-Fi Friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was Wi-Fi Friends your idea?
Yes.
Yes.
I don't believe
Yes.
you.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't either. That's a John.
Oh fuck! We should do this. Watch one of the Power Rangers again and again for 12 hours.
Watch what?
One of the Power Rangers again for
Well,
12.
like one episode.
Like one episode? Or
Yeah,
one
one
series?
watch episode of
Just
the
one
Power
episode for 12
Rangers.
hours.
For 12 hours.
Fucking hell, that would be
And that was
really
my
fun,
idea
actually.
if we could have a stream like for
Yeah,
long
for a
periods
long
of time.
period of time,
Yeah, there's no way we can do that ever.
Oh my god.
I just wrote down I wanted to start a Fish cover band with all blind musicians and call it Fish. I don't know if that was a video idea or like I wanted to actually.
No,
start a
that's
band.
just a joke.
Yeah, is it the eye joke, is it?
We
Yeah.
were fishing our eyes.
Yeah.
What was it? Okay, alright. You know what?
Simple
Never mind.
games with absurd punishments. Things Mel
Doesn't-
Gibson ruined.
What just says road trip? What just says road?
What is this list, Cam? This isn't show ideas. This is your diary.
Dear diary. ...
Oh, that was was that the mic what we came up with? It was like, what was the mic we came up with? Like he was like agony
Agony Adams.
Adams.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that was funny.
the hell is that?
When we right, so back in, I wonder if I got loads of those wrote down. Back in 2015, right, when we made the move of like, right, we should be doing less gaming, not more gaming. So
Yeah.
we like heavily reduced our gaming show. Oh, I think it was the original idea was to have 2 days of gaming. So it was like one day that was all the replay showcases, one day that was whatever else we were doing at the time, and the rest were going to be live action shows. So that's where like board games came from,
Yeah.
fan fiction came
Yeah.
from.
Right.
There was a third one. There were 3.
Well, we did. We
One
brought
run.
Anime
One
Duo
run was
back.
one of the other
One
gaming
run
ones.
we brought
Was
up, yeah.
gaming, but that's where those shows came from. And we had loads of ideas for shit we wanted to do that we never got around to. And one of them was Agony Adams, which was getting Mike to read Agony Aunt style advice. Do you know what Agony Aunt is, JT?
She give advice.
Well, people
Yeah.
send in questions and
Like,
she
dear Agony Aunt,
I'm
my
having
boyfriend.
a problem with.
Is, it like, is it like a similar show on that British like news show where she talks about?
All right, everyone stick with me here. Have you ever seen Drake and Josh?
I've seen Drake and
You know that
Josh.
episode where Josh is a woman and he's dressed up as a woman and he's answering in the school newspaper,
No.
but he needs to dress up as a lady to do it? All right.
Well, yeah.
She just-
Okay. Have you ever heard of Josh Peck?
from Drake and Josh.
Yeah, you've heard of him. Okay, good. So in that show, Drake and Josh, that he was in with Drake Bell, he was an agony aunt. And that's what an agony aunt is.
Well,
Right.
basically,
Oh, now I know.
they're usually in newspapers. People send them their,
I know that there's one
queries.
on like on a morning show where some woman will talk about advice. They'll be asked questions and
But because,
she gives her opinion on it. And I
It's
don't know who
bas-
she is to
yeah.
give all this advice.
She's
but
the
yeah.
auntie.
yeah. But because Mike is Mike,
Right.
we thought it'd be funny to like
Have a
give
show.
him
that
those
power.
scenarios
Okay.
and ask him.
90% of the answers would be man up, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Okay, thank you
Another
for
one that never became anything. That I mean, I'm absolutely would still like to do this at some point, but probably I would make more sense in Arcade Academy than anything else. But it's not an idea that it's original in the slightest, so I have no problem saying that out loud. Would be to do. You guys are familiar with Drunk History, right? Where they
Yep,
get like
yep.
somebody funny, really drunk, and have them recount a historical event. I wanted to do that, but the video game version, where it's get somebody who's like a fan of like, I don't know, JT. You like Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah.
Get you really, really drunk, and then
Talk about
just
Kingdom
sum up the
Fucking
plot
hell.
of Kingdom Hearts
Jesus
in
Christ.
10 minutes or
That's
something.
that's a fucking ball game. That is. Holy shit. Yeah, that's funny. I like that.
So I was gonna like drunk gaming or something,
Right,
something
right,
less
yeah.
generic, probably.
Drunk gaming.
That's just like a drunk let's play. That was one of the ones that never came to be.
Okay.
Can
We
get any
were
others?
gonna. This is reaching way, way, way back, and I remember this being a thing that you held on to for so long, even past the point where I was like, I don't think we can ever do this. Where you wanted to make like
You
an
is me, by the way.
Oh,
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 yes,
I know
yes,
you.
yes.
I know you.
You wanted to make an action show.
called
Oh, was it
like
like
the Gentleman's.
Oh, The Gentleman!
Oh my god.
Let me pull back the curtain. I am still writing that.
What? Oh,
yeah. But it is literally not even close to the same thing that it was when I told you guys about it. It doesn't even have the same title.
You wanted to. Jack wanted to make when we were in early days of Man
Oh,
on
this was like
Fire,
2012.
We
This
were
was
like
first
making.
year.
We made short film, and that was like one of the first things we put on Man on Fire. It was like
It was within the
monotony.
first like 2 or 3 months. Yeah.
Um,
Monotony. It's still uploaded right now. Go check it
yeah,
out.
and we did Duplicity as well as part of Man on Fire as well. And then
Where's Duplicity? Why haven't you uploaded
no,
it yet,
not
Cam? Come on.
Duplicity, not Duplicity.
Existence. But Duplicity is another one. But
yeah, I uploaded Duplicity on my own channel.
on your actual channel. Was it on your channel?
I
Or
think
it
it was
on Smash
I
Films?
made,
Oh, you
yeah,
put
I
on one
made,
of your
yeah,
random
Smash
ones,
Films.
yeah.
It was like I wanted to make a channel where it would just be films, and it was literally one film. and I never made
One
another
video.
one. But yeah, during that period, we were like doing gaming stuff, but we were like the ultimate goal is to just do like live action stuff.
Well, I mean, it was in the name, Man of Five Films.
Yeah,
we wanted to be
yeah.
doing films.
And you were like, we're gonna make a big, huge series, like 6 episodes long, of like each of us is
We
gonna be
still
like an
can't do
action
it
star.
now.
No, I know.
Like it's been 6 years and we still can't do
And
it.
I
now.
just, I remember you being like, we can pull this off, and we just need a smoke machine, and that's all we need.
That's it. That's all I want.
And 6.5 years later, we still don't have a smoke machine.
Where's that
We-
smoke machine?
Actually, a couple of years ago, we wrote a sketch that involved us using a smoke machine.
Yeah.
And we still, at that time, was like, I ain't got a smoke machine.
It's literally at the point. This is one you probably will see on Commit to the Bit eventually, because it's still a sketch we want to
Yeah,
make.
it's in
And
the
it's gone to the
plans.
point where we're like, we're never going to get a smoke machine. Could you get somebody to vape off
Oh,
camera?
yeah,
That'll work.
yeah.
And we're like,
Like
yeah, that
three
probably
people
would.
of
That
it.
was the reason Gentlemen never got made. Vaping wasn't a
Yeah, but now it is. No, that totally is still like on my list of things to like finish writing, but it is so far away from what it ever was. Like
Is it even the same thing anymore?
it's so it's still a group of people,
then?
but it's not 5 dudes.
Okay.
So it can't be called The Gentleman, which is why the title had to change. Basically, right, let me tell you, for you guys, because I didn't even get this far with you guys, I basically thought of a really, really, really good, like, last 4 episodes of what was at the time called The Gentleman. And I really, really like it. And I love the way it ends. And I want to make that so bad that I need to come up with a show to get there.
Right.
It's never a good way to start.
Yeah.
a show.
No, it's definitely not. But it's still an idea in my head. I don't know if I'll ever make it, but it totally, totally is.
God, that was weird, man. We had a couple of those. Where
East
we
and
were like,
West.
East and West.
That was you
Can
and
you
me.
do a what was it? Can you do a cowboy accent? I'm working on it. I'm trying my best. We just need a pub. Laura's got a pub we can use. We
That
just
wasn't
need
East and
cowboy
West. That
suits.
was that was. What was that sketch? I remember it so vividly.
There was a sketch where you had to be a cowboy.
I had to be a
right?
cowboy. Yeah. And the only reason I wrote this because I really wanted to be a cowboy in something.
It was like deep into like Good Walking Dead, and you were like, I want to be Daryl.
yeah, no, it was Rick. I wanted to
Rick,
play.
yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
to play a Rick clone because Walking Dead was good at the time.
Right.
I can't remember anything about that except that I was playing a cowboy and we needed like a pub setting
Yeah.
to
So
never went
weird.
any
So many
further than
things,
that. There's
like-
well, when I dissected what was left of our Man of Fire films, like notes and shit to like, will this work for Commit to the Bit? Can we do this for Arcade Academy? And what doesn't work, let's delete. Well, let's archive forever. There were so many ideas that I just did not remember ever coming up with that were in there. There was one sketch that was all about puns. I never even told you guys about this. It was just an excuse to do an action sequence that never became of anything. That was just all about making puns, and it's so obviously inspired by Tom Sker's salon
Oh, yeah,
salon
the
sketch
salon
where he's
one,
just
yeah.
making puns all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's so transparently that, but from a different angle.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, when you're young though,
oh yeah.
like, I don't know if you
you
guys
influence
remember,
super
like,
easy.
you
and,
just
like,
want to make
totally what you like.
remake videos.
What are you talking about? Office Affairs is totally original. I came up with that myself.
It's like iconic. Good directors imitate, great directors steal.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like,
I'm a great director.
I think it's weird though, because like there were like little bits of originality, but so much of our stuff was like just the same
Direct
that we were
copies.
watching.
Well, yeah, I think. I mean, I think everybody does it, but
Oh, yeah.
we started from wanting to make something we already knew we liked from watching other people do it. You know, Man of Five Films was born from me really wanting to be Rooster Teeth, and
Yeah.
then came its own thing over time. Arcade Crowd, the original 2015 Arcade Crowd was, wow, Game Grumps seems fun. Let's do Game Grumps. And then that became its own thing.
It was funny though, because I think there was four of us, but there was three of us really, and then John was like, "Yeah, I'll do anything." The only thing that stopped us from just imitating one particular channel was that the three of us had different ideas of what the channel should be, so we would always fight over it. So like, if it was just you, it would be Rooster Teeth. If it was just me, it would be Yogg's Cast, you know. But like, because we were all pulling in different
Yeah.
ends and different directions,
Basically,
it ended up being kind of original.
What Cam's saying is if you rip off enough things, no one can tell what you ripped
Yeah.
off.
You mix in a lot of different
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter.
Mm.
Oh man.
But no, I think even from the get-go, we were pretty conscious about inspired by not direct rip-off. I think the closest thing way early on was Replay Showcase, which was, I like fails of the week that Rooster Teeth do. Let's do exactly
Well,
that.
I mean, Office Affairs is a funny example as well, where it's all new jokes, but the exact same setup.
yeah.
What was
and
Office Affairs based on?
Well, it wasn't. It was a lot more subconscious than like
Right.
it seems now
Right,
looking
right.
back. But like,
Yeah.
clear. I mean, just them wanting to make sketches in general was Tom Sker's, like influence. So naturally, that the first couple of sketches I was in charge of making were very, very
Right,
Tom Sker.
Tomska style, yeah.
And Office Affairs is like, watch that. And Office Affairs, by the way, for anybody who maybe hasn't watching the channel, is one of the earliest
Is that
sketches
the
we
one
made.
with Oliver in
It's Oliver's in it,
Yeah.
Morgan's in it.
Right.
Me
yeah.
and John are
I
in it.
remember it. Yeah.
It's still in the sketches playlist on this channel if you want to go check it out. It's one of the earliest sketches we made. No, hardly any of the jokes hold up. It's really bad. And it's so obviously...
Is it the breakup?
it's not called The Breakup.
no,
It's
it's
called...
like they're trying to tell.
Confessions.
That's it.
Tom
that's
Sker's
it.
Confession sketch. Watch those two back to back and see what I watched back
It
then.
is. Literally, like, if
Yeah.
it's set in an office, it's fine.
Yeah.
The other one's not set in an office. So
I think I saw the Tomska one after, and then I was
Tomska
like,
ripped us off.
I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
yeah, there
That
was
was
that
funny.
one. There was I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of other ones that were like quite heavily inspired. Honestly, the ones that were most original were the absurd ones. Like some of the more absurd things we did were like the closest you could think of is like Tim and Eric, where it's like like where John was giving birth. What the fuck was that sketch? Was that
That was
Jack and
Happy
Cam?
Wheels.
Happy
That was
Wheels.
right.
What?
Okay. This is one of those jokes that I'm still kind of proud of just because of how absurd it was. So I remember the episode. It was episode 26, the end of episode 26 of Happy Wheels Replay Showcase. I sprang it on John right at the end that he was going to host the next episode of Happy Wheels.
Right, okay.
Because this was at the point way before John, I don't know if got comfortable is ever true, but like before he really started to get into it and like was speaking basically. Like early 2012 of Man of Five Films is the three of us and occasionally John saying something.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be funny to have John try and host an episode of Happy Wheels. And then at the start of episode 27, we filmed this like live action sketch thing of like previously on Happy Wheels Replay Showcase of just shit that never fucking happened. So it's like a montage of like me and John trying to ask these girls to prom, John giving birth on the floor and me telling him to push. Me trying to it wasn't bad. There's two Johns and I'm trying to figure out which one's the clone. I think I end up shooting the wrong one. And then like right at the end of the live action thing I'm like, you should host Happy Wheels next week, and then it starts the video. I'm still quite proud of that.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was episode 26 and 27.
Right.
Happy Wheels Replay Showcase.
Oh, did you film the sketches and put them in the episode? Then?
Yeah, they're at the
Right,
start
right.
and end of the
I'll go check
episode
them out.
27. Yeah, it was all right. It turned out all right for
Did
the early
you-
shit.
Did you watch us when you were a part of us?
Yeah, a little bit, not much.
They were like,
a little bit.
because I remember some comments were like, Ape Escape were like, oh, this is really good, guys.
Yeah.
And then we were like,
And then a lot of dead time.
Yeah, yeah,
And then on that, oh, this is pretty good, guys. The thing is, I copy paste this here.
yeah.
I copy paste. I wait a while, right? They need some support
Did we ever
right
like
now.
officially introduce like JT, or just like slip him in?
Well, yeah, I don't remember.
Because I remember when John left, we made a big deal about it, and then the next thing we did, we like, oh look, it's JT. But before that, JT was in a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's why it
Well,
was such an obvious thing to
What
ask
was
JT.
the first one I was in? What was it? It was it was around the cinnamon challenge time.
That might have been the
Remember doing
first thing.
Yeah.
You were sat in the background
Oh
of
yeah, in one
something.
We
Was
did
that
that a
the-
lot.
Was it Jack and
wasn't
Cam? You were just sat there.
Yeah,
We
I
deliberately
remember.
thought it would be funny to have a guy who'd never been on the channel
'cause
before
we were
just sat in the
we were like
background.
hanging out after college, weren't we?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
whatever,
We did
and
that a lot. We would bring people from college back, and we would shoot stuff. And
We'd make them do things for us.
Yeah, I remember
Point the camera in their face. Dance, monkey, dance.
there was a fucking.
And then
oh
we
my God.
got you.
We can never, ever upload it. But I remember that one we did with Kian.
With the podcast that never was.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wasn't Xander's on it as well?
Xanders was on it. Lewis was on it.
Lewis on it.
Yeah. Well, not really. We kept trying to get him to speak, and I think he literally went, "What?" And that's all he said.
Lewis Walters.
No, bro.
No, Lewis. Broad.
Oh, right. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
Well, actually, the weird thing about you when like,
The weird thing about you, Jay,
The weird
you
thing
send
about you-
dick pics to friends unsolicited.
Wow.
and don't send
I
them to
sent-
me,
I'm sent-
solicited.
Sensing a theme this podcast.
No, it was
Dicks.
weird when you sort of stepped up when John left because we were. I honestly thought there was going to be a bit more outcry than there was. Really, you know what I mean? Because John was
without,
such.
without anybody else.
From our 4 subscribers.
No, but even back then we had like the followings. We'd started Tory Bash by then, and there were people that. And at the time we were in this weird like I had moved basically. So I got to do like so much fucking backstory for this to make sense. Originally, when we very first started the channel, we were filming in what was my bedroom at the time, but it was big and there was loads of room. It was basically a living room that had a bed in
I
it.
mean, big as a stretch.
Well, compared to where we went after that, which was that bedroom, which was fucking tiny.
Wait, you filmed in there?
Yeah.
Reese and I rarely did.
Well, that's what I'm getting at.
Right.
Is we were in a room that was big enough to have the four of us in, so we could do filming shit. That would be what would have been on camera as like the first Man of Five Films, like office, really,
Yeah.
I suppose. Then I moved house and was in a absolutely tiny bedroom that like. It was still the only place we could record, but it was so small. So for like about 6 months, you two really just weren't in a whole lot of things. Cam and Reese, sorry, I did the Cam thing. Cam and Reese really weren't in a lot of things just because there was no...
Yeah, we were just
couldn't
online.
fit you in.
It was
Right.
just online stuff.
And
like,
podcasts was
yeah.
basically
Yeah.
it was basically it. So over those 6 months, it became a lot of things were just the me and John show. Like we were doing Terraria, we were doing he was on quite a lot of the Tory Bash stuff. So John was like
There, like.
a lot more ingrained in the channel. With those two kind of sitting on the sidelines until because we knew the studio was coming and we knew that would be a nice little refresh, but it just hadn't happened yet. And then John left. He didn't walk out the door. We knew he was going to leave for a while. So I wanted to approach it of like I didn't want you, JT, to be replacing John because I thought that
Yeah.
people would react negatively to you were in a few videos, but it would still be to a lot of people relatively new guy. I wanted to approach it of like Cam replaced John. Reese replaced Cam, you replaced Reese. You know, like working our way up the line of involvement in shows, because at the time you were in the least amount of shows. Cam was in second, John was in the most. It made sense to do it like
Right,
that.
right,
So people took it relatively well, because it didn't
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
John was gone and this new guy was stepping into his shoes. It was like, oh, well, now they're doing videos with Cam instead.
Right,
That's great.
Yeah, I see.
So I think that's why we never made such a big deal about. We never made like an introducing JT video. 'Cause we
Yeah.
just kind of wanted to.
How did we do it? I can't remember. Was it just? I was just in a video.
You just
and
showed
it
up.
was
Well,
just the best.
that's the other thing is we didn't really have a lot of group stuff,
right.
so there
right,
wasn't
okay.
ever like.
Oh, so
an
that was
immediate-
new in itself.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no, I mean we didn't do 4-player group stuff
Yeah.
for absolutely ages after that either. Like that's the weird thing. I think of that as well. Is like in my head the channel's always been the 4 of us on camera, but it's like no, that
That's all
for
I
like the
remember.
first 4 years that wasn't true.
Yeah.
God, we made so many fucking sketches too. Like,
And it's not just sketches, but like weird, like improv live action stuff, like the Chubby Bunny stuff.
yeah.
So the sub push, the cinnamon challenge.
The cinnamon challenge.
That was
is a
all the same
strange
video.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
like a
that
really
was
long
one,
video.
yeah.
There was also, and we might still do something with these. Maybe not the original footage, but the scripts. Remember we made those like 5-second films. Or like
Oh yeah, the
like
the
60-second
what
films.
ifs.
well, they were for a competition, weren't they?
Oh, those things, 10
Oh.
seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Fun.
Yeah.
I like them. They
Well,
were
like
cool.
there was that awesome one with JT.
Which one was it?
Were you
It's like a
Sherlock? Were you?
detective.
Yeah.
What was for context? We entered a competition about 3 years ago that we had to make. You can make as many as you like, but you had to make a 10-second movie, and the winner would get. I think it was like a grand and a GoPro, fucking awesome GoPro, and we were like, oh, we could fucking. Because I was just looking for competitions for us to enter. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that'd be fun. Let's do that. And we made. I think we made 5,
Yeah.
and you know, we definitely took a like quantity over quality thing to try to just get as many as we could. But the 5 we settled on, I think they all hold up pretty well, and they've all got a joke that is pretty funny in them. And we entered them all, and the thing that won was awful.
Are they? I was up anywhere.
They're still on YouTube. They're
They're on
unlisted.
YouTube,
Yeah. Yeah, we should do something with those.
Because some of them were really fun. What was the joke
They
of?
were fun.
Do you remember the one where I dipped my biscuit?
Yeah, I do.
That was
I
such an
do.
authentic. Oh, that was a nice laugh.
That was my only real
It's
laugh I've done for the
joyful
channel.
laugh, that
No, but it definitely was that. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
funny. Sort of.
yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
was the Welsh flag one, wasn't it? We did as well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh yeah.
Well-
so much shit we made.
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to burn it all.
yeah, the competition we entered. And look, I'm not saying we should have won.
Can the name of this podcast be #Scorched Earth?
Scorched earth.
Yes, please.
The competition we entered. I'm not saying we should have won. That's not what I'm saying here. But first of all, I think we were better than the people who won. But not just that. Most people were better than the people who won. The people who won made this like. Oh, I'm just gonna say it. This bland, boring 6 to 7. It wasn't even 10 seconds. 6 to 7 seconds stop motion animation on like flip. It was a flip book animation, right? It was like a guy walks into a room and lights a match and walks out. That was the animation. That one. The thing that came second and third were brilliant. They deserve to be first.
I
You know
remember
what I
you
mean?
saying this at the time.
Yeah, I totally said this at the time. But the thing is, I went back to that site like a month later, and they had added a banner to the top of the site. I'm paraphrasing, but it literally said this. Like, give me a company name, just make one up.
Gregory's.
We here at Gregory's strongly believe that animation is one of the oldest forms of entertainment and takes a lot of effort to produce, and therefore should be credited for the effort that goes into producing it. They're basically what they said there. A lot of people complained that the
Yeah,
winner
yeah,
shouldn't have won, and
definitely,
they
yeah,
had to
yeah.
justify it.
Oh yeah.
So I don't feel bad about losing that, but that's fucking. It wasn't. There was
All
like
subjective.
there was better animation shit. You know what I mean? It was just
Right,
really,
right,
really,
right.
really bad.
Yeah.
Fuck you, whoever made it. I'm calling you out.
Oh.
Gregory.
Yeah, Greg. Who's this? I wonder.
Their own competition.
I wonder. Did they? There was.
They didn't want to give away.
They didn't want to
a
give it
grand
away.
and a
So
GoPro.
I mean, that makes more sense than that shit animation winning.
I mean, maybe they just really liked animation.
Yeah.
But there were better animations.
Maybe they just
Maybe
really
that one
liked.
just
That
recalled.
particular
like
one.
this.
I've lit a candle in a room. I relate.
I don't know, man.
I too am an arsonist.
I got a sort of retrospective question for you all. We'll do 2 shades of it because again, there's two sort of
2
channels.
shades.
Let's start with Arcade Crowd and then go back. What with Arcade Crowd? I got 2 questions actually. I'll ask about both channels. What springs to mind as your favorite video for Arcade Crowd? And we,
They all blur into one.
Yeah.
Is
I know
there
what you mean.
anything that stands
I,
out?
I
Just
totally
like
agree.
The
like,
4 of us sitting down making jokes. I can't really.
Arcade crowd videos. I think
Or to
there
an
were
old
like
arcade crowd.
there were like up. There are things
Yeah, I
up
suppose.
there. There
The
were
slapping
definitely-
can with a fish.
That was a great one.
That's not fair.
That was
What's
a-
funny about that one was like the video itself wasn't even that funny.
It was not funny because like.
Although you did some really cool editing because I sent Reese the footage and I also sent him the footage of the like replay, whereas like from cinematic angles. So Reese cut between that and the actual footage.
Yeah.
But like the slapping with the fish was so
Sorry,
funny.
fish was fun. So good.
The ice bucket challenge as well, just randomly,
Yeah, just
not for
random.
charity, just to
do it.
Yeah, we'll clean you off. But as I went to check in your face, you stepped forward, so I almost smacked you in the head of the bucket.
Another big one is Reese singing in Dark Souls. It was just like the editing and then what was actually happening was just like so.
Yeah, that was really cool.
That was
I
so
like that one
great,
a lot.
bro.
I know every time I hear that song in public on the radio, I just can't stop
Reese
laughing.
comes to mind. Like.
Honestly, and it's not just Dark Souls, but it was like a recurring bit throughout Dark Souls was me asking, usually you, JT, but asking people to sing, like sing to me blank.
Yeah.
I ham so many of those songs to
Oh, you're
myself.
saying about
I'll
that,
still go around like spooky haunted castle, werewolves everywhere.
Yeah. Oh man, Dark Souls is a lot of fun. I really like that.
Yeah.
Souls.
Yeah, that was one I was very glad we got to finish.
Me too.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Very,
So I wasn't
very
so
glad.
sure at the start because obviously it's such a big investment to like go all the way through a game. Was that the plan initially?
Not really. You know, this
'Cause you started on your own, right?
I started
I
on my
remember
own.
the like early bits of the game, and just after you get what's the main castle in that?
Lothric Castle.
Lothric. After you go to Lothric
Yeah.
and you're in with the scarecrows and all that, the weird, creepy outskirts of town.
Yeah.
I remember watching it there.
Spooky, scary castle.
Scarecrows everywhere. Yeah, we weren't far at all when you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that's
was just after, I think, wasn't it?
that was a weird time because I started doing that when we were still Manify Films, the playthrough of Dark Souls.
What?
Yeah, because I
No
didn't do
way.
any solo videos for Arcade Grad, none. Except for I did the Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. That was that was the
Yeah.
one Arcade Grad I did by
And
myself.
that's like some live streams and stuff as well.
Oh, on live streams, yeah, totally. But the reason I did Bennett Foddy is because of my birthday, and I thought it'd be funny to do this fucking rage-inducing game by myself on my birthday.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think we were going to record. It was like, because my birthday's in December, it was like, we weren't going to record any more games before Christmas. Like, this game's not going to be relevant anymore. I should just play it.
Yeah.
I started that back in Manify Films where, like, before we really had the thing of, like, no, we should just do this group shit. This is what's really, really fucking enjoyable. We should just be doing this. This should be the channel. Essentially what Arcade Cred was. It was going to be all gaming, but still gaming shows. It was going to be like, I think You Should Play was going to be a weekly show. One Run was going to be a weekly show. Was for a while. One Run was good. I wish people got it. I wish people understood it.
So many times, like, oh, there's a lot of black space left afterwards. Like, yeah, the fucking point. Literally, the fucking.
Even after I put the disclaimer for the entire thing saying there's blank, the reason the blank's there so it doesn't spoil how well we do,
Yeah.
I still got people saying, you only did that for ad revenue. I'm like, that's not how it fucking works. You have to actually watch the video for me to get ad revenue. If you're sitting through it, that's your fucking fault.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, it happened with, it didn't happen in like the negative way, but remember that groom, the wedding special we did for fucking crap?
Oh,
God. Yeah.
It was like 2 videos.
Oh, yeah.
Because we lost
Yeah.
we didn't put out, yeah. Well, I did the same thing for the Dark Souls video because you beat the boss so fucking quickly. And I was like, well, I can't upload a 3-minute video because people will know how quickly he does it. So that's why I really ended up doing that fucking tribute to Cam All-Star cover. But it was still too short, so I put up some black and put a disclaimer. And I can't remember who it was, but somebody in the comments was like, that felt like One Run. At least he got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's nice.
it was going to be One Run, You Should Play. I can't remember what the other one was going to be. Oh, it was going to be an idea that we're going to do for Arcade Academy that I'm not going to spoil.
Okay.
The one I was talking to you about recently. Day?
Oh, I know.
You was I talking to you about it? Shit. Well, I was talking to both of you, so I'm surprised he didn't remember it. Yeah. So that, and then it was going to be like Tuesday would be us group gameplays, and Thursday was going to be me solo playing.
Yeah.
Which is where that sort of Dark Souls thing came from because I wanted to I was still trying to capitalize on the fucking runaway success of the guides, but couldn't produce a guide weekly because that would be too much effort. So I was like, maybe if I just do a let's play and edit it like a guide. Didn't have the same. A lot of people watched the first one. Not a lot of people watched the second one. Yeah, no, Dark Souls was. I'm very glad we got to finish it.
Yeah, me too.
I still I think one of the funniest things I ever did was it wasn't even really. I thought that taking things out of the bag was going to be the funny thing. Like when we did the episode of
Guts and Glory.
Guts and Glory, when I was taking things out of the bag, and you guys were laughing at that. But it wasn't until I was like, I don't know what to do now. So then I just decided to blow in bubbles.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
it set people off.
That was fucking intense.
When we
That was
uploaded
so
the
intense.
best of 2017, that was all the highlights. Like
Yeah.
that was quite in the comments. I was pretty popularly considered the best moment of 2017. It was so fucking
so
funny.
It was funny because
So
I was just like, I was a little bit disappointed because you guys were laughing at the fact I was just pulling random things out, but it wasn't really getting the reaction I wanted. So then, kind of sad, you see me like, and
Deflated.
then I just pull out the last thing, and it's the bubbles, and I go, And then Reese looks, you can see. And then JT always does this in every video. I know it's like a really funny bit when JT, we always say he gets punched by comedy because he goes, ah!
And he gets thrown back in his chair. The way I do highlights for like the best of and stuff, I export as I go. I never go back and get the highlights and shit. Same with the flub montages for 2017, 2016. I just exported the flubs throughout the year and then compiled them all. I did the same thing for a jump scare montage, but there just wasn't enough to make a thing. I wish early on I had started collecting JT getting punched by, because I'd love to make that montage of you just getting blasted back by comedy. It's one of my favorite things.
What happened recently that made him do that?
I don't know. We've had some good bits recently. Really good bits.
It's probably in the best of, is it?
Watching him. Yeah. Well. Favorite videos. JT, have you got any favorite videos?
Well, as I said, I like the Dark Souls. Oh god, yeah. I mean, as we said earlier, they all do blur, and my favorite parts are whenever we have face cam. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think they go so well, and especially with the editing too.
One of the early JT bits that I think is
JT winked
hilarious.
at me. We're married now.
That means we're engaged.
Which ended up transcending him and just being like a phrase that is trying to say.
What did you just kind of quietly say?
We're engaged.
I thought, right, okay. I genuinely thought, I literally thought you like winked at me and went, that means I'm gay. And he like moved around 3 times around the room. I was like, wait a second. Sorry, Cal.
No, it's fine. This is like transcended him, and I it's just the sentence itself now is funny. But when we were playing that weird indie game that we never really played ever again,
which one?
And JG just went like, this game online.
It was On Raid. On Raid wasn't a bad game. Online. I do think about that sometimes. That such a long-running, lasting bit was started in such a nothing video when nothing else happened.
Totally.
It wasn't the joke that you because it was one of the earliest JT's not listening jokes, wasn't it? Yeah. Where like you were explaining the whole game, and you're like, you can play this with your friends if you want and stuff. And then JT's like, is this online? This game online.
That's another thing I wish I'd been exporting all along, is how many times you just don't listen to something you've been told.
Oh yeah. It's just scary.
The rare occurs where like you're making a joke out of it, and we all just go, JT, you're a fucking dickhead, and the joke never lands, and we just make you feel bad.
All right, I got one more. I got one more about our kicker, then we can do a little bit of manfire. What do you, if you can remember something, you don't have to say something for everyone. Like, I'll start with you, Cam. What do you think is everyone else's best bit, or one of their best bits? Like, what springs to mind for JT, me, and Reese for best bit?
For Reese, it's either the singing, all the different times he sang different songs.
There was 2 in Dark Souls that were pretty fucking good.
The Dark Souls ones are good.
It wasn't just the one he was talking about earlier. It's the Unite tribute.
Oh yeah.
But it's not just the singing itself, but it's also the little changes he does to the songs. Like, still to this day, even outside of videos, we will still sing, "Girls, get your boys." It goes, "Boys, boys, boys." Oh, owner of a lonely fart. Like, owner of a lonely fart.
So silly.
That's one of the fucking things. Really recently, which I guess is a compliment because it's like you only keep going up. One of the funniest things that you did was "I'll bum you now." Like,
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I'll bum you now.
Oh, that was one of the funniest things because it was so like it was like you made the joke like I don't know the first time probably years ago, and they got a couple laughs, and then you've been making it since.
Yeah, but not
less and less funny.
I mean, I think I cut my explanation of it because it just didn't really work for the video. But that like you're a blank.
Yeah.
I hate that more than anyone else. It is just a reflex of I've got nothing to say. Just say it back, and I hate it every time it comes out of my mouth. I'm like, why did I fucking say that? It's never funny.
It's funny is you hated it so much that it give you the exact emotion you needed to go, "I'll bum him now." Like, so dead face. And like you weren't expecting it to be as funny as it was. So you just kind of throw it out like it's nothing. You're like, "I'll bum him now." And then I was like, what?
Yeah, that was... When was that? It was recent.
It was Guts and Glory,
Guts
the
and Glory?
last month of our kids.
I was so bummed. I'll bum you now.
The problem is, I mean, this is probably me being critical of myself. I still don't think I said the funniest thing that came out of that. I think it was still Reese when he goes in the Welshest accent ever, "I beat your score, I'll bum you!" something to that effect. It was fucking great.
So that was a fucking hilarious bit, and also all the edits, like the montage of me when we do the Dark Souls video. It was the one you mentioned earlier in the podcast where we were doing the wedding video, and I beat the Dark Souls boss really soon, and then there's a montage of all the photos of me.
That was honestly annoying. That montage was annoying to make because I needed to get a lot of photos of you, but I didn't want to get photos that had people in them that wouldn't maybe not want to be in videos.
Yeah.
I also didn't want to have to clear a million like with you because I didn't want to spoil I was doing it either. Be like, do you think Mike would be cool with being in photo?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably Mike would be, but there was a lot of people that I didn't know would be. So like I had to go through your Facebook for ages to find photos that were just of you or just of us.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
And then JT, I mean, there's the fucking... I don't even remember if the banana bit was funny or if that just became
Oh,
a
right
bit.
banana. Yeah, I don't think
It's
it
a right
was.
banana.
We
Because you
didn't-
asked me to come up with a catchphrase.
Yeah, and
And I was like,
well,
that's
because
the right
I was
banana.
like you weirdly like annexed my bit, but did it way
Yeah,
better.
what did you
Because
say?
I was the
It's
thing
about
that
fruit, wasn't it?
no, it was put some mustard on that one,
Oh,
which was
that's-
deliberately a bad catchphrase. That was the joke.
Mustard on
And then
that
in
one.
Gangby, it started in Tory Bash, and then in Gangby's, I was like, JT, I got a catchphrase. Just put some mustard on that one. You need to come up with a catchphrase. So you like derivative of mine came up with that's a ripe banana, and it was way fucking funny.
Oh, no, wait. I found a favourite video. It was us traveling back in time and punching Hitler. In
Tory
Tory
Bash.
That's got to be
My
collectively the
God.
best bit.
Yeah.
You know, that's not
my
anyone in
God.
particular. That's just
Oh my
us
God. That
at our
is-
best.
That was a
Oh,
trip, that was. Yeah.
That was such...
Line up now, kids. Don't be near Hitler by yourself. One hit wonders.
One of my
One-hit
favorites
wonders.
is... Sally, will you go out with me if I knock Hitler out? Fuck. That was a great one.
Oh, such a good bit.
I'm trying to think of like a stand, like the one JT moment that stands above the rest.
There's so many, like, you know. It's so funny.
A lot of them were unintentional. I'm not trying to be mean.
No,
but, like,
totally.
I mean,
A lot
the
of
problem
them
is,
are-
as everyone said, they do tend to blur together a little bit. And you do usually only remember like the last month or two of content. So all the highlights that are popping up for all of you are shit from the last month or two. So obviously I'm going to mention Trials for you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the edge.
Yeah. I like Trials. I'm sad we lost the face cam on that one.
And me.
Very sad.
That is probably one of the most deserving of a smash zoom ever, and I didn't get to do it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that was funny. When you were like, because it was so real.
My favourite recently, though, was the Happy Wheels one, where I'm constantly replaying
Oh,
the
yeah.
the level. I was like, and JT takes a sip, and you slowly zoom in on him. He takes a sip, puts it down, realizes the situation, just goes,
Oh, another one of that is you and I. I can't remember what video it was. It must have been M++, I think. The frustration
Right.
where
I
you
love M++.
scream and then I scream.
Yeah. Did you have
I did the subtitle, but we weren't doing it in response to each other at all.
Yeah, I love that. I love that one so much. That's
Oh,
so
man.
funny.
I like the development. This isn't really a bit, but the development of JT getting angry whenever I got him wet, like a year ago, to now, where he's literally unloading fucking buckets of water off.
I said that I've got an idea because we're coming up on an hour now.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's so much more we should talk about, but we really don't have time to talk about it. Do you guys want to do for the last one a very rare and unspoken of two-parter podcast? Where, because this, let's reveal the curtain. This was recorded before we did any of the other Man of Fire Encore stuff. This is the first thing we filmed for Man of Fire Films Encore.
Ah.
What if we filmed the second half of this podcast? You know, it'll go out at the same time because we're filming these in
Yeah.
advance.
yeah.
Right before we do the last video. So we have like a bookend
Alright.
podcast. Because there's so much more I want to talk about, and I don't just want to end
If
here
we-
just talking about
Okay.
arcade card stuff.
Should we not
Promise it.
promise it?
Yeah,
I can't imagine a world where we won't have time to do it, though,
Okay, all right.
to be honest. Because we will
Just let
be
the
up.
record state.
Yeah.
Cameron had his doubts.
This is where like hard cuts and it's just me talking. My favorite bit of Man of Fire Films. No, I think because when I don't want to spoil what the last video is, so when we do that last video, we
Okay.
all have to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there won't be a situation where we'll at least not be able to do like an extra 20 to 30 minute wrap up, even if we don't end up doing another full hour.
Okay.
Just in case, I will cut this now.
Such an awful life to lead. only time you can talk to people is if it's being
my
recorded.
God. He's never been able to.
That's
You'd
such
never
a
be able to be a person.
no. I don't know how daily vloggers do it, man.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I think they just break down.
I think I just kill myself.
I think they just crumble eventually,
Yeah.
you know?
Honestly, that's not far from.
I think I've
how
seen
it
I've
affects
seen a
They
lot
either
of people
break
being like,
down.
I need a break.
Yeah.
Or they are so like unhuman in the way that they act. Like
Totally,
you watch
totally.
Casey Neistat. I love Casey Neistat, but I wouldn't want to be friends with him because he's just so intense. Like you just have to have a worth ethic.
Work ethic. Work ethic.
Casey Neistat, if you're out there listening, you have a great... fuck, what did you say? Fucked up your fucker.
This is just today. This is just me. Hey, ha, you fucked up. I fucked up too. Let's hug and cry.
Hello and welcome to a month later.
Oh.
So, it's literally, we filmed that first half of the podcast that you just finished listening to before we started shooting any of the Man on Fire Films Encore videos.
Wow.
That was
a trip.
That was the first thing.
Wow.
And
What a
now we
journey.
have one more thing to shoot,
Mm-hmm.
which we're not going to
Ooh.
spoil, but we will talk about the other videos.
Anime Duo 2.
We're going to print out a photo of Man on Fire Films and then dig a grave for it.
That's not a bad idea. We should have come up with that a month ago. We could have put it in the shooting schedule.
So we were in the middle of reminiscing about Arcade Crowd, and we don't really want to hardcore continue with that because we're not 100% sure what we've already said, and we don't want to repeat ourselves.
Plus,
So-
we talked about that for a lot, and that was only a fraction of
The channel, yeah.
of the channel.
So let's just end the Arcade Crowd stuff with let's just end Arcade Crowd.
Wow,
Got a radical.
what a surprise. We're ending.
How am I going to make money now? All the merch.
This is the thing I didn't get to. What we were doing, but I can't remember who I'd already asked and who I hadn't, I was asking you guys what your favourite moments were. And I know I didn't ask Reese yet. I think I was about to ask Reese. But I don't know if that means that I also didn't ask JT and just asked you, Cam.
Well, what was my favourite moment?
I don't fucking
Of
care.
Arcade Crowd. Didn't I mention like the fish slap?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So.
Maybe I did already.
Oh, are they going to fucking it? This is
Yeah.
the worst thing
I know.
ever. So for them, this was fucking 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This is the worst podcast that's ever existed.
Can you imagine doing that listening to a podcast every couple of minutes ago? Right, what were we talking about?
I've heard a podcast like that, and I turned it the fuck off.
All right, fine. We'll just move on. What was your? This is gonna suck if I have already asked you guys
Jack,
this.
what was your favourite Man on Fire Films show?
All right, Cam.
make?
We're just gonna hard stop the Arcade Crowd stuff. That's fine.
That's what we literally talked about.
I said we talk about it a bit.
20
We would
minutes before
finish the
this.
discussion.
We have to be precise because this fucker over here, Jack Thomas, doesn't understand words.
Yeah.
Where am I?
What Cam's referencing there is right before we started this podcast. I explained, and I think I did it quite succinctly, clearly and easy to understand.
Yeah, you're real making a case for yourself. Yeah.
JT, it's really easy. We're going to glue and then sugar glue.
Oh, I'm glad you were so succinct about
It's like
that.
turned my head to Reese, be like, what is Reese going to talk about? And then I didn't realise he wasn't speaking English.
English.
Oh, Christ.
What the
What's
fuck
going on?
I just jumped
Oh,
in
Cam, you
smell
smell so bad.
Oh, it's only a matter of time before it gets over here.
me, dude. It smells
It
real.
smells like garbage. It smells like actual garbage.
Oh, he's a
Take the
garbage
bins
man.
out, Reese.
What does that
I'll be
mean?
back and keep talking.
Where are you going?
Oh, don't
Where are you going now?
Have you shit
You going
yourself?
to poo?
I think he might have shit himself.
He's going in his bag to get a fresh pair of pants.
There's a roll of toilet paper.
Oh, Cam, you're off!
It bends.
My eyes, they melt. What have you got now?
Nobody can see what you're
Such a
doing.
visual bit.
We can though.
Don't
It's
knock my
special for
camera.
us.
Oh, Christ. He's got deodorant and chewing gums. I don't know why he got the
That's
chewing
what
gums.
chewing gum's going to
Put on
help.
his ass.
Minty fresh asshole.
Oh, you stink. You're
Okay.
You've got a nice big packet of that, Cam. You going to eat all them?
Well, I eat like 2 a day, you know?
2 a day.
They're not tablets.
Right.
I just swallow
There's
them.
60 pieces in this. Yeah, 60 pieces of chewing gum.
It's going to be so weird to listen to this back to back.
It's going to be terrible.
Because it's like midway through the podcast, we all get a second wind and energy
Yeah.
like spikes back up.
So, what's your favourite show?
What was my
What's your favourite bridge? You're doing purely visual bits.
And now I will pull a rabbit out of my
Oh, wow, look, he's really
Oh,
doing
that's
it.
crazy.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
Whoa, JT, you're on fire.
Ah, I'm on fire.
Cameron just opened his box of chewing gums, sniffed in it, closed it, put it back down.
and keeping those wishes for later.
JT! The mic!
Just slammed the mic into the wall.
Sorry, Vina.
What's your
Sorry,
favourite
listener.
bridge?
Oh, where are we? What
What's
is
your
this?
favourite episode of fucking
Firefly.
All right.
Let's all chew. Let's all chew fucking
Go from like the nice reminiscing podcast to the worst audio-based thing we have ever done. I'll start clapping and clicking our fingers. Pun to the mic as much as we like. Everyone, take your wind guards off.
Fucking hell.
Alright.
What kind of laugh is that?
Are you crying? I don't know.
Can you imagine if that's how you
right
laugh?
He's bright red. Look at him.
Stop doing visual
Oh
pin
my
scam.
God.
He's not. He's just wiping his tears.
He's red.
What's happened?
All right.
You can't show them people doing visual bits. If I start crying, don't wipe those tears away unless it's content.
I have to film it.
Get the camera out quick.
Fuck me.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Oh, right.
Alright, so.
Oh,
So your favorite show?
oh, Christ. Right, my favorite Man of Five film show. Right, okay. Let's do 2 rounds of this because I think there's 2 very
rounds?
distinct qualifiers. This favorite show to film and like what you think was the favorite show you did. You know, like the end result was great.
Okay.
What? Cam? What?
What now? What now?
I just remember it.
What happened? The last.
No, I'm just remembering the Muppets
I
recently.
I was about to say.
What?
The Muppets, and somehow
The
that connected
Muppets
them.
recently performed.
All right. Fucking hell. Get to that. We'll get to the Encores.
I just thought of that in my brain and I started laughing.
I had to live through
That's
that.
the way you think about things.
Oh, I have seen. I edited that music man. I had to live through all those bloopers. I suppose you guys did too.
Yeah.
My favorite show to film.
Fucking hell.
Muppets
God.
gone.
We're too far gone now. At this point. For any
All
sense.
right, cut.
What are you doing? Are you chewing in the mic?
You can see it on the waveform. It's
Oh no.
We do this a different day.
All right, we're gonna pause. We'll come back.
Come back a month later.
And then we're going to talk about how much we can't remember.
What happened today? Oh fuck.
Just do 3 really different podcasts.
Okay, so
My favorite show to film. Stop laughing! I'm
Sorry.
thinking. Stop.
I'm thinking.
No. Fan fiction was always a joy to film. It was always funny to, even as an observer, just being behind the camera was always really, really.
Yeah,
really
even though the
really
change of set wasn't that much far away, it was still fun to film it somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I think that we didn't get a lot of opportunities on the channel. And a lot of the shows didn't really facilitate bringing in guests, you know, because a lot of people just weren't up for doing a lot of the shows. But it was
Yeah.
one of the shows where people were eager to join in and eager to come help out. And that was really fun to have a lot of people that we knew were funny, but there was no way for the audience to know how funny they were until we brought them into the set. Like, that was probably one of the first videos that Mike was in. And
Yeah, aside from the podcast.
yeah, but again, like the podcast is just like, you know, you don't have to be funny in the podcast.
No, you can just chew into the mic.
Yeah, just chill,
Totally
like, get a
fine.
bunch of laughs from a bunch of idiots around you. And but like, I always remember just bringing people on and just having fun, just like, you know, seeing what this different person would react to different. And we would be like, we would actually put thought into, oh, would this person find this fan fiction funny?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, there was actually a lot. That's actually the reason. Jay,
Just a dickhead. It's like when a cat like sees a glass on a table
knock
and
over.
then stops for a second and then kicks it. Stop kicking shit.
You've incited me now.
This is
No, get off!
no one can see
Look
that.
at all these visual bits.
JT's just kicking stuff off my table, and he just picked up his own phone with his feet like a monkey.
Wow.
Anyway, so.
That's
Let's
actually
continue.
one of the reasons why fan friction. We ended up stopping it back when it was a show, is because so much effort and Reese's sanity went into finding
yeah.
appropriate fan fictions. And for every like one, it's weird because it's like not for every one good one, for every one bad one that was funny and not just boring or
Yeah.
bland or offensive or disgusting, there would be 10 to 15 that we just couldn't read and also didn't really want to read. Like when we
Yeah.
were trying to find the one for this Encore special, it was
Yeah.
like, oh, there were some awful ones that were
There's some
horrible to
truly
read.
awful ones,
Well, this
yeah.
one was bad enough, I thought. There were some beats in this one that were super fucking shocking.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I still can't get out of my, like,
Your reaction
when
to
I'm
that.
when I'm talking about serious things with people, and it comes on to different topics, I have to stop myself from saying depressing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Are you depressed?
Is it cause you're gothic?
I think, and also, like, you are right, the fine line between, Because, you know, there's a lot of enjoyable fan fiction out there, but they wouldn't be funny to just
Yeah.
read enjoyable fan fiction.
Yeah.
There's also a lot. Probably the biggest amount of fan fiction is just boring.
Yeah, it's
and
just
that's not
bad.
funny.
Bad. You know?
And then the ones that are funny bad, you know, even a portion of those go into territories where you can't really do.
Yeah.
And another portion of those that maybe less common, but still come up, are the ones that are, you kind of get the impression that they're trying to be bad. You know,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
be funny
yeah.
bad, and
Yeah,
those don't
troll
really work
fics, yeah,
either.
They just don't do anything. Like.
There was
Yeah.
just so many that didn't work for the show. But I think that's why the show then was so funny, is because the ones that did work really fucking worked.
Like I remember RoboCop and Batman feeling like just on the line that it was like it could have been, it 100% could have been faked, but it was done in a way that was like, oh, I believe it, I buy into it, you know, that this person really likes. Because we didn't really go that much into like what you think of when you say fan fictions, which is like the sexiness and none of them are really sexy, but like putting characters together and shipping characters.
Fan service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas like, so that when the reason I think that we stayed away from that, because it was like, well, they'll all just be the same joke then each episode.
Yeah.
So when we did get to RoboCop and Batman, and that was the first one that had any sort of relationships, it was the funniest shit because we'd spend so much time not doing it. Then when it came, it was like, oh fucking hell, here we go. And then it was like RoboCop touched Batman's face.
Who was in that one? I
It was
didn't see that
you
one.
two, innit?
It was me and Reese. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
Reese.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
Spoilers, guys. Reese was Franklin Fiction
All along.
Come out.
My favorite episode, or at least the one that, because again, I'm looking forward to rewatching them at some, because I don't remember a lot of the beats for the fan fictions now, but I remember just what was the one where it was you two, but Mike was there and he was behind the camera with me? Was that might have been Batman, actually, thinking about Batman.
might have been.
It might have been.
Because that's one of my distinct memories, is like I'm behind the camera, Mike's sitting to my right waiting to like go on for the next. So we filmed him in bulk. We filmed like a couple. That was another problem with fan fiction, was
Oh my God, yeah.
finding 6 or 7 so that we could film a
Yeah.
bunch of episodes.
Every single guest was always high energy, and then throughout the video, Reese would get lower and lower.
Lower,
energy.
yeah.
So Mike sat like to my right and I'm behind the camera. Something gets said that like, because that was the thing, like another unfortunate thing of having the guest there is like, right, you're gonna laugh, but don't laugh. Like don't laugh loudly. Please try to keep it quiet. And I was like, Mike was like, yeah, I can do that. I can absolutely, I don't need to sit in the other room. I can sit with you guys. It's totally fine. And something happens and I make a noise. I'm like, I shut myself up and I'm like, try not to laugh. And I glance to Mike. He's looking me dead in the eyes with tears running down his face, trying his best not to laugh.
Oh God, I felt that way with you. A lot of fan fiction was fun, not just the product, but also to make in that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like. And I remember another moment like that was you and me while Mike and Reese were doing Sonic and the Great War.
Yeah, I mentioned that one.
Sonic and the Great War,
yeah,
me and you were sitting next to each other, and there was literally moments where like I had my hand on your mouth and you had your hand on my mouth, and we were like so, and it was also the added bizarreness of just Mike stroking your dog while he talked about Sonic, and then I always remember the moment which. We did a part 2, and part 2 was funny, but it can never live up to this moment. The end of part 1, where he goes, and then coming over the mountain was me, the author.
Yeah, the narrator.
That is one of the ones I've looked forward to rewatching. That was one of my favorites too. Yeah, fanfiction was a great. That's an idea that I still think, like, not to, obviously won't go too far into, but I think it still has some potential. I think there's still something there.
I said to you, I can't remember if it was in a group scenario like this, or if it was just me and you, Jack, but like I was mentioning to you, it was the one where I was like, it didn't feel like, a lot of stuff we do either feels like YouTube shows or like, podcasts aren't really specifically YouTube, but like a lot of stuff we do is internet content. I couldn't see it anywhere else. Where fan fiction, I always felt like we were making it, and even though it was going on the internet, we all kind of wanted to make a TV show. As opposed to, an internet series or web series. Like, I was thinking, like, we would make it. And
the way
would, like,
we approached me.
Yeah, the way we approached it.
Like, I didn't really think if we put this on YouTube, BBC will pick it up.
No, I mean, but it was just like, we were always like, right, we need a costume for Reese. We can't just have him sitting there.
Yeah.
We need this. And I always felt like if any of our shows were to work as a TV show with a budget, like, not a big budget, just a little bit of a budget, it would be that. Because it would be something like Drunk History or something like that. And I always, like, watched it and was like, fuck man, it had so much potential, like
I wouldn't want to like get into a fucking brainstorming session on the podcast. Here's our ideas, please steal them. But I think if fan fiction was to work in the future as for something else, for one of our other channels, for a TV show, who fucking knows, there would need to be a better source of the material, you know?
Yeah.
it
we
would
need to also to have people.
Yeah.
Like a ton of people researching rather than just like leaving it to
Oh,
me.
yeah, it's a lot,
Because
yeah.
oh my god, I there were some nights
Sifting
where I was up
through
to
them
like
all.
2:00 in the morning
I can imagine.
reading a fucking like Sonic and fucking Mario crossover. And I'm like, I don't. This is terrible.
I think that the phrase you used when we were talking about, right, should we stop fan fiction, was, yeah, it's destroying my soul.
It does hurt, like, because like I loved the show because it was like it transformed into like my show.
Yeah, totally.
Where
It was your
you know,
idea.
Well, yeah. Well, I'd come up with the I'd find the source of fictions.
Yeah.
And then we'd film it, then I'd take it and edit it and do the thumbnail and stuff for it. So it was just nice to just have that one thing that like I would do, because at the same time we were doing the first version of Arcade Crown, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
totally.
think so. I think it was when we were like, gaming is going on a separate channel, which was Arcade Crowd at the time, and then that became obviously Man Fire. But like because of that, it was like we're focused on gaming there, and then I got board games. Reese got fan fiction, and then was there another show that other than you?
You were doing Comic of the Week, and I think you were editing that.
Oh yeah,
And
I was doing Comic
and I
of
was
the Week.
editing a couple of the others. We were doing Band
Yeah.
of the Week at the same time. That wasn't a hint. I was clearing my throat. Band of the Week.
I was doing like off and on comic talks, like when I
Yeah.
could. But it was interesting.
And obviously I was still doing all the gaming stuff as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
and it was interesting because it was like Reese said, like we all kind of had our own shows then, and we were all
Yeah.
going away and doing stuff. And Reese would research for fan fiction, come in, we'd shoot it as a group, and then he would go back and he would do it in solitary. And like, it was just weird. It was like a weird time where we were all kind of like all just kind of uploading to this channel.
It
But
was
not really as we were filming as a group, but it was also like I hope Reese gets fan fiction done. I hope I get board game stuff.
the weird thing that year, I think it was 2015 would be the year we because like you said, we had just kind of we felt like Arcade Crow was, this is really fun. Maybe this should be the gaming thing. So the push was, let's make Man of 5 Films as much live action as we can, or as much not gaming as we can. And I think that span of sorry, like throat's all like fucked. That span of, I'd say about 6 months where we were really doing that, was like the most realized the original vision for Man on Fire Films ever was. You know, this variety channel that we're all contributing to in our own ways,
Yeah.
uploading to, producing shows for. And it was also probably the least the channel ever grew. So
Yeah, it was weird because it was also like it was probably the time where it was most effort collectively. 'Cause
Yeah.
there have been times where you've been putting in everything, but collectively it was the most effort for the least amount of payback,
Totally.
It was like 6 months of us. Every day I'd have either
Yeah.
an Arcade Crowd video to edit or a Man on Fire Films video to edit. And we'd be shooting stuff like bi-weekly, and we'd shoot them in bulk as well,
Yeah,
so it'd be
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was super like hardcore. The
Yeah.
stuff
it was
we were,
crunch all the
And we
time.
were just
Yeah.
putting stuff up, and you obviously,
nobody was watching it.
Jack Thomas didn't have any equipment to edit, but he would
Yeah,
be
it's a
coming up
shame.
and filming in
Yeah.
bulk as
Yeah,
well.
you were constantly on the move.
And we were like, oh, you need to bring like 4 bands because we're going to do a series where every Monday we talk about bands.
I completely forgot about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
That one
that
slips my
was
mind
like
all the time
that
as
was
well.
the most stressful thing ever because we
Yeah.
shot it in a way that was like, all right, go, okay, and there's like no script, but also you had to stay on topic, and we had like points, and I remember we were all standing.
Yeah.
It would spend so long like shooting them,
I remember that.
and I remember just being like, at the end of that 6 months, we were just like, I mean, I'm proud of what we made, but nothing happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, the stuff that we made, like a lot of the stuff we made, I think was probably the best stuff that we ever did make.
Yeah.
But
I
it was
agree.
just like, it was so like it was so intensive. We weren't really like hanging out with each other a lot. It was just like
Work.
us
Yeah.
going off to our separate things, coming together, filming it, and then going off again.
Yeah.
And it was just like nobody's watching it. So
Yeah.
I'm watching, okay.
The subconscious thing, or I suppose unspoken thing, was that the hope was if we did this, however many months of hardcore effort, it would finally be the push the channel leader, and then
Yeah.
we'd grow from there and be able to bring in other people and shit. So it would be like, work hard now to make this something. And we did the work hard part, just the second part.
It just
didn't
never
really
materialized.
happen. Yeah.
It was interesting because it was also like, I always remember because, and maybe my time was a little bit off because it was fucking everything happened, over 6 years. It's hard to know when what happened when, but it felt like it was exactly the same time where YouTube stopped. It began to be less of a,
It stopped feeling like the future.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
it was like we were doing all this stuff and we were working, and as we were doing that, in the behind the scenes, YouTube was like, maybe we'll be a bit more corporate. They started putting the talk shows on in the trending page, and they started, and it wasn't what it is now, where it's like impossible to be anything. But like, it was the beginning of that, and it was funny that we decided, let's make a YouTube channel properly, and then YouTube was like, no,
not you.
Sit down.
Do you have a budget? No. Okay, bye.
Well, fuck you then.
So actually, like, I think, aside from some obvious missteps, no one's perfect. I think a lot of the problems with Man on Fire come from just awful timing on our part. Like, we went fully gaming about 2 months before the adpocalypse.
Yeah, and we went fully gaming like a year after nobody cared about gaming anymore. You know, there was like a boom of gaming, and we had gaming stuff, but we were like, we won't go full gaming. And then it wasn't until gaming got boring that we were like, now's our time. This is our chance. Now that the Yogscast are rapidly losing subscribers, we can start doing gaming as a full-time thing.
Well, I think it's easy to take arcade cred, and arcade cred and Man on Fire Films are very separate things in my head. But Man on Fire Films became arcade cred before we called it arcade cred, if that makes sense. For the history of the channel, like, we were making what were arcade cred videos on Man on Fire Films for like 4 or 5 months before we just were like, oh, we probably should just call this arcade crowd now. Yeah. But I count those videos as arcade crowd, really, you know what I mean? Because they're so like...
It's that format.
Yeah, it was very much variety shows, one type of video done really, really well. Or that was the idea, Let's just do one thing really well instead of trying to do loads of things and spreading ourselves thin. And I do think it resulted in us producing the most entertaining stuff, the funniest stuff we did. But like you said, we came into the game way too late, and I don't think it was enough to do, even if we were the best Let's Players in the world, which we're not. I like to think we're pretty damn good at it, but we're not the best in the world. Second best, yeah.
Yeah, at least second.
Yeah.
Are we officially the 94th?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally, officially. It wasn't enough, By the time we got good, the world wasn't finding new Let's Players anymore.
It always made me laugh because, like, we would always. It always felt like we were doing stuff, except for those 6 months. It always felt like we were doing stuff that I wasn't watching, which was really weird. Like when we started making those Arcade Crowd videos, and the people watching now think of Arcade Crowd, with the face cam and the four of us sitting down all at once, maybe one of us playing or all four of us playing, but it's the that setup that we we were known for the last year.
We didn't copy from anybody.
I didn't recently started watching Funhouse or anything.
Who? Funhouse? What?
No.
It was like we were making that while I was getting bored of Let's Plays, and it's kind of funny because it was like I was loving the content we were putting out, but I couldn't in my head go, would I start, without knowing the channel. Like, I watched Let's Plays that I watched, back when I was like 17, but I couldn't think in my head, would I watch this channel if I didn't know who we were, It was really weird.
Yeah, I tried to not take that into account when we were like choosing what content to make, whether or not like, not so much, would I watch this? No, I wouldn't, because it's not entertaining is fair enough. But like, I didn't always try to make only the shit that I would definitely watch. Live streaming is a great example of that. I love doing live streams. I can't watch a streamer to save my life. I've tried getting into all the streamers.
It depends who it is for me. I can't just watch like one person stream. I hate that. But if it's like a Yogscast thing where like there's like 2 or 3 on at a time.
But even then, I rarely catch it as it comes out.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
I
find
watch
I'm
it,
always
like-
busy during live streams.
Yeah,
Even if I'm interested in them.
Jingle Jam though. I will watch all of that.
I mean, the advantage of
That's
stuff
the
like
Christmas.
Jingle Jam
Yeah,
is
it's
when
only
it's like,
Jingle.
it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
There's gonna be somebody on.
There's going to be something on.
Yeah, event live streams. Ruth Teeth do this like yearly charity live stream for 25 hours. They stream.
I tried to watch that, but it's just so boring.
Well, that's the problem with it. There's like
much
it's
downtime.
every 4 or 5 hours they have like an event, and the event is awesome and super entertaining, and then the rest is them just sitting there tired, sort of like barely keeping awake. It's like, all right, cool. Fair enough, they're doing it for charity, can't fault them. They're doing an endurance live stream. But like, even that, and I watch Ruth Teeth, I love them, like Achievement, and I watch them, and it's like, edit it. Show me the good bits.
Yeah, just like have like times where you're like, okay, we're going to go live now for this special event.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about like so many live streamers. I feel like that. I've tried watching the like really popular ones, the really good ones. I tried watching Ninja, then I tried watching Ninja on mute. Neither of those worked.
Ninja on mute. What? What's that?
It's a channel, twitch.tv/Ninja on mute.
He's lying. Don't listen
He
to
just
him.
turns the sound off.
Ninja is the most popular Twitch streamer of all
but
time.
people watch him on mute. Is that a thing?
No,
No,
he's
I'm
making
watching
a
it
joke.
on mute
Oh,
because he's
okay.
annoying
Right.
as
Yeah.
fuck.
But he's just really good at Fortnite.
Yeah,
Basically,
he's like the best. Isn't he?
yeah, and
He's like the best.
the best.
He's the best.
And I cannot stand watching streamers purely because they're good at games.
Right.
It's just so boring.
I think that like if I'm gonna watch, it is awkward. I mean, I'm not even that into games, you know. Like I'm not into
What?
like video game like
You're not that into
competitive.
it,
But
video
you are
games.
part of the arcade crowd. Do you not play games in your spare time, Cameron?
You went for an original joke. I was gonna be like, I am the game one. I am the Game Boy. I'm the one that wins.
I'm the one that wins. Oh, that's so
Um,
funny.
Yeah. So but
Yeah,
like,
we should start a Let's Play channel like them.
Yeah, what a good idea.
but I think that it was weird. Like we were doing things, and there was only those 6 months where I was like, fuck. I would like click on something that was called this, you know.
Sorry, which?
Because I always thought we made good videos, but like the trend, you know, of what was like in the trend and what was people were doing.
Which period did you fall out? Of our what you
No,
said
I was saying like we always felt like we were making stuff that was really good, but was never
And you
the
wouldn't-
stuff
you
that
wouldn't be
people
watching.
were watching on YouTube. You know,
Right.
like we were making fucking. Oh, what were we making? We were making like. I'm trying to think of reach back. Oh, like replay showcase and stuff. That was during the time of like the pranks, you know, and everyone was watching pranks.
Yeah,
and
but
stuff.
I think there's always those niches, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
when vloggers were popular, it's not like Let's Play channels didn't exist
Yeah.
then, you know?
And
So-
also, if we're constantly chasing the craze, then we would
Oh,
have
it's a
died
never-ending
out
battle.
Yeah.
about 4 years ago
Yeah, you're
because we
chasing
just
tail, aren't you?
wouldn't have cared.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
we-
weird though, because a lot of channels that change a lot, like ours, where they're always something different, are people with the chasing the craze.
Yeah.
You know, they're people that go, "Well, this is a completely different channel to like a year ago," and the reason usually is because YouTube was shifting, so we shifted. We never did that. We just changed because we got bored of what we were doing and tried something different.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, but it was
or
always
what-
stuff we wanted to do, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it was
that's
it was
the whole
weird
point.
that we changed so much, but never in the direction because we
Yeah.
were like. There's no point doing stuff we don't like,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And there were times where we were doing stuff we didn't like,
And
to
then we
try
stopped doing that stuff.
and we stopped doing that, and
Yeah.
that the stuff did well, but we were just like, I can't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's actually a good thing. You know, if we were chasing views, we would have become a Tory Bash channel in 2013, you know? and we
Christ,
didn't
Imagine that.
do that. Not that.
Fuck,
I don't think you would have ever joined. If
No,
that was the
no, no.
case.
Sorry, Bash.
I would. Yeah, I wouldn't be here now.
Reese would have been killed by it.
Neither would I.
Yeah.
It would just be a robot being like, "Hello and welcome to Tory Badge."
Well, that was my.
We were just hired Con.
now I'm hoping he hires us. Oh, what a great guy. Watch his stuff.
Salt of the earth.
Solid.
Sorry, okay.
No, he's actually a really nice guy.
Donates to charity as well.
Hmm?
Donates to charity as well. I had a good long conversation with him.
Did you fuck him?
It's like, are we talking?
I'm joking.
I know you
Yeah.
are, but you said it so serious. I'm like,
Yeah.
he might not
That's the
be.
That's the point of the joke.
I don't understand comedy.
You just free your head.
Another visual bit.
All I hear on the side of me is, and I was like,
Anyway, yeah, no, you know, I agree, but I am also I think the biggest problem we're talking about specifically those 6 months where we really were like, right, let's find a thing, you know. The problem as well was that our schedules were so shaky and unpredictable, and it was very, very hard to get the four of us in the same room.
I
not
mean,
like now.
Yeah, not like now.
it was a lot easier to get into the same
worse
room
now.
than it is
I
now.
disagree.
Really hard at
Because-
the moment.
Back then, in 2015, 2016, that motherfucker, JT, was very hard to nail down.
Yeah.
always in
Away.
Japan.
Travel
Always in
and
Japan.
always
in Japan.
So
Yeah,
there were a
for
lot
so
of times
long.
where we were like, right, just please keep this day free and we'll film loads of
Yeah.
videos. Whereas, obviously, and now, and for the last couple of months, it's been like that as well. Not just with JT, but with kind of all of us. You know, we've just been busy. But there was a year solid of Arcade Crowd where we were more or less able to get together every Monday. We were, you know,
Yeah.
more or
Yeah.
less. Every now and again, one person would drop it, but that was great for bringing in guests. And I feel like if we had been doing, you know, we wouldn't have because we were loving what we were doing with Arcade Crowd. But if we were able to film like that for those 6 months of doing that variety stuff, that every video would have been great rather than because that's the problem with filming in bulk. Is some videos you're just a bit tired.
I remember when we used to film like how many did we used to do each day? Was it like 8?
We'd
sometimes
always try to
more?
film for 3 months, and there'd be one a week. So we always tried to do 12 every 3 months.
12?
Yeah,
That's so
and
much.
sometimes
I
we
remember
wouldn't just do one show.
Like toward the end, you get like really tired, but then you get that
Yeah,
like
that
fucking-
last one is always loopy though.
Yeah, the loopy one, yeah, because
Yeah.
you'd have you get really tired, like I don't know, about 10 in, and then the last one is always like, oh,
'Cause you know it's
Christ,
almost
I'm off
over,
my
so you're
marbles
like-
now. I get to go home.
Yes.
You just said something. Jack, you just said something that reminded me that we used to do quarterly stuff.
Oh fuck.
I
dude.
remember, like, I
Oh yeah, the
every
quarterly.
so long,
Yeah,
3 months,
man.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I still got the
Those fucking
spreadsheet.
No, but the spreadsheets in a way that was like, mine's still yellow. Oh God.
Yeah.
What do I do? Mine's yellow. It's gotta be green by tomorrow. Mom, help. My spreadsheet's red.
Yeah, you never wanted to check it because you knew you never had anything for it.
It was like, and then he would get like passive aggressive comments from Jack being like, "Hey guys, have you forgotten to update? You guys have edited it, right? You just forgot to update."
I mean,
and be like,
it's orange and it really should be yellow.
"No, it's fine.
Oh.
It's like,
It's going out an hour ago.
how is it red?"
So when it's white, that means you haven't filmed it yet.
Yeah.
I forgot to update the spreadsheet.
The worst one was comic talk for me because
Where you would just keep pushing it back. It would get to the date, I'd check the spreadsheet, and it would be next week. And then next week, I'd check to be the week after.
But comic talk was funny because what we mean about the colors was the colors would indicate like its form of completion.
It was,
Yeah.
it was basically just a spreadsheet I made. I still use it, so it's really handy. It's just a calendar type sort of thing that back in the day would have all the shows for each day of the week and the dates, and then I think white means it hasn't been filmed yet. Red means it's been filmed, but nothing else has been done to it. Orange is edited, possibly rendered, but not uploaded, and yellow is everything's good. It's scheduled,
Yeah.
and green is it's live. It's
Yeah.
live,
So
yeah.
yellow
Yeah.
was where you wanted it to be
Yeah.
before the date, or
Yeah,
preferably. But there were different ones as well. So like with
mean-
comic talk, it was one of them was written.
Yeah,
You know,
'cause
instead of But it was funny.
I
because-
think it was don't put it on the spreadsheet until it's been wrote.
Yeah.
So you'd have loads on there.
And there's all of them except for comic talk featured some sort of collaboration, whether it be between two people or all four of us, so there would always be a point where you go, we're all relying on each other. So they would get red, usually it was recorded, so they would go red on this day. We would come up, we'd go home, and then a bunch of them would just turn red immediately because we filmed a bunch.
You make it
of
sound like magic. No, I went through and changed
yeah,
every
that's
single
what I
one.
mean. But with comic talk, because it was like all on me towards the end when you give me the capacity to edit it myself. It was funny because it was like I
sound
was
like Jesus.
you may edit my son.
I edit for those who
But-
can't edit themselves.
I would just look at it and like I would just be like, gotta turn that red somehow. I'd be like look at him like, nope, it's not working. And I would get messages being like, you've written it right, you just forgot to change the color. And I'm like, yeah, totally written, completely written, 100%,
All good.
100% written.
Writing those talks, game talk and comic talk, was so much harder than I think the end result displayed, because you needed to get 5 minutes, and just sometimes there wasn't 5 minutes of material on a topic.
Yeah,
Right.
I would
At
write
all.
short ones and send them to you, and you'd be like, can you like talk about his hat for 4 paragraphs?
Surely there's another Spider-Man.
Oh man.
And nothing reminded me of how much. Actually, I'll fill you in on this. So we did an episode of Comic Talk for the Encore week, right? Cam wrote it. Well, Cam made bullet points
Hey!
that I then
I
turned
wrote
into
the
a
whole fucking thing in my voice. Obviously, it was terrible, but I wrote it.
Cam, I love you, and you're a good writer. That Comic Talk script might be the worst thing you've ever wrote.
No.
He sent me a Doctor Who script once, and it was fucking awful.
Well, for an episode of the show.
No,
it's
he wrote a little thing about Doctor Who, and he got everything about it wrong.
When was this? When was this?
Oh, it was like years ago.
Long time
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, years ago. It was like a flying gargoyle or something like that. And then he used his sonic screwdriver, and the wings of the gargoyle fell off, and the gargoyle plummeted to
It was
earth.
like I turned into Stephen Moffat. I thought the screwdriver could do everything.
and then he teleported away.
And he did the worst thing of all, which you had him use the sonic screwdriver on a wooden door, and I was like, Cameron,
This is Doctor Who taboo. This is. Come on now.
how's like his official kind of thing? And I didn't trash it to begin with.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know,
I'll break him down over time.
no, 'cause I was like, well,
Each day he sends me another
Today,
problem.
I'm breaking him down.
Sorry, that's exactly how I approach the comic talk script. Carry on.
well, I told him like here are some inconsistencies with
Right.
like the universe because
Yeah, the law.
you wanted to keep it in the universe. I was like, here are some inconsistencies, and you're like, it's just fine. Like, I just ignore those, right? I was like, Cameron, don't fucking make this.
That was like I know why the comic talk script ended the way it was. It was you kind of rushed. You needed to get it out. So you even said to me, "I'm just gonna put the facts down. I'm just gonna get the facts right, and then you read it how you want to read it." You know?
Yeah, I
Which
even
was-
said rewrite it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Oh, totally. I'm busting your balls, but you wrote it knowing that's what I was gonna do. So because of that, it's the worst thing you've ever wrote, and it is just.
I think there are worse comic talk episodes.
Do you really think
Yeah,
so?
I think so. I think that there was.
Just for you two and everyone else, it was very much like, and then Slade went to visit Batman, and then Slade said to Batman that Batman should help him, and then Slade went in disguise, and then Batman showed up, and then Batman fought with Slade.
It was the issue. The issue was The issue was that very close to like when we brought comic talk back.
Yeah.
I stopped doing Origins and I stopped doing, hey, this is what happened in this comic talk. Because the problem is you could only do it in the way that was like, so then this happened, and then this happens, and then this happens. And when you're saying that out loud, you can kind of, you know, you can make it
And
fun.
then
You can
this
and then
happened.
you can fucking guess what happened next, and,
And
then fucking
then
this thing
this
turned out.
happened. Okay.
But writing it down was very much like, because knowing I wasn't going to read it, I was like, and then this happened, then this happened. So if you watch the comic talks that came out before
This
we
one's out,
stopped it,
right? Currently.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one's out.
Okay.
Everything
Um,
but the last video, don't say the name of it, will be out by the time this podcast goes out.
So look forward to it. Don't say the name of it. The last video.
Reese! No, but I started doing just opinion pieces, like top 10.
Oh, a weird game show. Don't say the name of it.
It shows you an apple. Apple. Fuck.
What's that video that has Jackie Chan in it? Oh, it's like, it's
What happened here?
What kind of weird tangent do you want?
guys, no, that joke.
Fat dog.
It's real. Fat Dog Mendoza.
Fat dog.
Do fat dog. Do.
Stop talking about fat dog.
Don't you guys
Fat
remember
dog.
the theme song?
Fat dog. Do.
Real.
Fucking fat.
Along
dog.
with Home Movies, which was a real cartoon, and they were all in jumpsuits, and that kid
Home
grew up
Movies.
to be a character in Gravity Falls or something like
Okay.
Gravity
Anyway,
Falls.
So Jackie Chan.
He owns a video movie. Right, back to Jackie Chan, the important part.
So back to the first tangent.
It's not Gravity Falls, it's something like that. Yeah, there's a sketch and it has Jackie Chan in it. I felt bad. For no reason, and it's like, don't. It's like don't something, and it's that joke. It's
all
really
right. Anyway,
funny.
Jack Thomas, what's your favorite video? Because that all was about fan friction. Apparently.
Yeah, totally.
What's your
Apparently,
favorite,
like that was my fault. Like I didn't stop talking.
My favorite video. What was it to film and how I think came out?
Your show, but you can say video.
Your
if you like.
show.
Yo, show.
What was your favorite show to make back in any of the times?
I
It can
don't
be
know,
way
like-
back when we did
How many shows do?
Mischief.
I think
Mischief.
Anime Duo is my favorite,
Yeah.
just because I like anime a lot. Did you guys know that?
Not
It's funny how
because-
everyone's
not
favorite
because you
is
were-
their own show.
Well, and I wasn't asked yet, so
So really, no
it's fan
one's.
friction.
Except for JT.
We've asked one person.
You were very
no,
wrong.
Don't look away from me. We've asked one person, and their favorite show wasn't their show.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. He already thought he went, and he's gonna say his show. That's why he said that.
Yeah, we're gonna say my show. Yeah. Babe Station. Question
the fuck?
JT, what was your
Is
favorite?
it still a thing?
I hope so.
It better be.
Otherwise, I can't come.
What? You can't come without seeing a half-naked woman
I have
just
to-
gyrate on like what looks like just like the thinnest mattress you've ever seen before in your life.
He's well versed in Babe Station, and
I mean, I used to be
we're all-
13, didn't I?
Didn't watch Babe Station.
We're all versed in Babe Station. I remember the fucking terrible music too, like that slow beat that would just
If you
play.
listen really closely,
Babe Station.
you realize that it's just a guy making sounds
Yeah.
from. And then they're like,
Yeah.
I once I was watching porn once. You know those pop-ups you get where it's like it's live, but it's probably not really live.
Okay.
Right.
And like, yeah, I wasn't really watching it, but I left up my second monitor to see where it went. And
Any Easter egg though.
so you know those ones where you can like they phone in and it's like the most desperate thing in the world, and then usually the sound cuts out, music fades in, and they talk to the guy for a bit.
on Babe Station now?
They do it on Babe Station, but I
They
saw it
phone
in.
in.
Yeah, but I saw it in a pop-up
Okay.
porn ad.
Alright.
I was there for science, and
Yeah, have you ever watched Babe Station before? That's that whole thing about Babe Station.
ring up, right?
Yeah.
but they mute it, so you cannot you see them, but you hear music. This thing didn't do that,
Oh,
so you
fuck.
just heard her side of the conversation. It was like, yeah, baby, yeah,
That's so funny.
red.
Red.
Oh,
This will do it.
brilliant. What was your favorite thing to make about
Yeah, it
anime?
says red, and it puts the phone
My
down.
favorite thing to make. My favorite part of anime.
Yeah. Why did you
Why-
enjoy making it so much?
Explain.
Explain. It wasn't Dalek. Explain. It's like you would come in.
Explain.
Stairs are no match for Dalek. Exterminate.
Red. Oh. I don't know. I like the setup of it, and it was fun watching shows that I don't. You kid?
Look at him laughing at his own joke.
I'm so funny.
Hello, baby.
What are you wearing?
I am here to exterminate your blue balls.
Ejaculate.
Fucking hell. Anyway,
Now I'm laughing. JT, what's your favorite thing about coming?
that's why those
oh,
like
I don't like coming
plunger sucker
anymore.
things.
Yeah.
Oh, that noise.
Battles coming.
Battles are coming.
wet.
There's more than 5,000 people.
God, that's really hot. Christ. Dalek.
What, a Dalek sucking you off?
Dalek with a fucking plunger.
They do. They have those
Like,
plungers.
Yeah, and the whisk.
And the whisk, yeah.
That's for the pen.
A whisk that fires lasers and a plunger that sucks your face off. You ever watched Doctor Who before?
I have seen
The plunger
Daleks.
also unlocks doors, apparently.
Is it?
Yeah, he just puts it over hand
Well,
scanners, and it's like blah, 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 blah.
Anyway.
But yeah, I liked Anime Do a lot. I think filming it was cool because the setup was nice. The table.
It felt
like
like a
tables.
podcast. I felt like it was.
Yeah,
it was like
pretty chill, you know.
a video podcast. It could have worked if we released like the audio and then be like, hey, if you want to watch the video, you know.
You're forgetting the original episode of Anime Duo was a podcast.
It was
Yes.
Paprika. Was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Paprika.
It was going to be an audio podcast, and then when we brought it back, we were like, we should maybe not do two podcasts on the same channel. So we did. I made a video. I think that might have been the first like visual. No, Music Mondays was. Of course it was.
Paprika was
It's the second.
the first thing you ever did with us as well, wasn't it? Like
Was
you
that
were,
the first ever thing?
you weren't even like part of the channel. You
Was that
just-
before the time when we did the cinnamon challenge?
No, it wasn't, and I'm so glad you remember that.
I
That
didn't
was the
think it
first thing you were
'cause
in.
I remember
Yeah.
that. and that
What's
was
weird is the first
fucking
thing you were
bizarre.
in is that I wasn't in the same like frame that you were in when you were in. It was like Jordan Morgan
It
were
was,
there, and I
everyone was
wasn't
busy.
there.
And then we did a follow up with you later.
Yeah, I was like really busy.
Wait,
so I
what
couldn't-
happened? We split it in half, did we?
Well, right,
that
so
video was
look,
so long.
we'll
Yeah.
give.
It was long,
Yeah, it took
right?
long to edit as well, didn't Cam? So we did a sub push.
Yeah, there's clearly a story there that Cameron doesn't remember. And you are like harbouring a grudge
It's
on.
like fucking carved into your bedroom post.
Never forget.
We did back in like 2012, first year of Man of Our Films. We did a sub push where we did like
Fucking sub pushes, man.
if we
Give me money. Give me money.
ask for money.
At the end of the give us money.
Chubby bunny, give me money.
Chubby bunny, give me money. It's like Bloody Mary. Chubby bunny,
if
chubby bunny.
we set,
chubby
like-
bunny.
Oh no, if you we set goals of like if we gain 100 subs, we'll do this. 200 subs, blah blah blah, up to 1,000, I think it was. And for every amount of subs we gained as well, so it'd be like for every 2, we'd add something. I think it was we'd do more replays and replay showcase. Colossal failure, but we did hit.
Our sub push, a colossal failure.
What?
I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing: we actually hit one of our goals, but it had nothing to do with the sub push. I did our first giveaway during that sub push, where I gave away a beta code for World of Warcraft. I think it was Mr. Pandaria beta.
Right.
Oh, I said that
I
American.
think you said
Pandaria.
Pandaria.
Mr.
Pandaria.
Hello, Mr. Pandaria.
Mr. and Mrs. Pandaria.
And that got us like, I think it was, we jumped from like about 200 subs to 1,000 entirely because of that giveaway. None of those people watched our content. But because we technically hit the goals, we did the sub push video, which was us talking shit for about 10 minutes.
Yep.
Then we played Chubby Bunny.
Have you finished this?
And
Yeah, it's got a
because
chewing gum in it.
Put mine in too.
Sorry.
no, it's okay. Because Reese couldn't make it, we basically like got two people that would equal Reese. So we had JT and Morgan. Yeah, it was the first video JT was in. I think it was the first video Morgan was in visually, because he was. I think. Hang on, we hadn't started Terry Bash tips yet either. That might have been the first video for Morgan. Thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Fuck you. All right. Yeah, that's really interesting. We did Chubby Bunny and then we did the Cinnamon Challenge, which Chubby Bunny was kind of funny and the Cinnamon Challenge was completely disappointing.
Yeah, it didn't work.
just didn't really
Didn't do anything.
do anything.
I mean, it didn't taste good, but it wasn't like.
It was a little spicy.
Can
I
we
guess.
spoil it now after 6 years? Can we spoil it?
Oh yeah, can we spoil it?
Can we spoil
I don't know what you're gonna spoil. Go for
Jack
it.
faked.
Yeah, you faked.
Yeah. Well, I was just like, this is shit. Like you had done. Well, you went there the first time we did it.
Yeah,
Right?
no, yeah.
So I did it, and I was like, oh my god, this isn't doing anything. We've hyped this up so much. I'll just react a bit, you know. I'll play it up again. This is 2012. I'm not gonna feel bad about faking a video 6 years ago. All right, I've grown. My past doesn't define
like
me.
you care.
It was fine up
It's
until
like
that
trying
point.
to defend like old tweets of yours.
Disney's gonna sack me. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I better react. And then I went to like just give a bit of a, you know what I mean, to make it. But in doing that, I inhaled some of it. So from then on, the reaction was real. But it wasn't like the puff of cloud. It was me just choking on cinnamon and in genuine pain.
I'm gonna do the trying to swallow an egg whole challenge.
And then when we redid it,
Yeah.
because a few people said we did it wrong and we weren't supposed to keep it in our mouth, supposed to try to swallow it straight away. So I did that, and again, it was just unpleasant. It wasn't like I didn't get what caused people. I think it's when you inhale it, you get the like puff of it. So just don't inhale it, idiot.
People were like not eating it. People were like, I don't know. I never understood it, but we did it, and I remember it being funny because like as young kids, we were like, we can't tell anyone we faked this. We can't tell it. We gotta keep it.
You'll ruin our
Everybody
reputation.
sign contracts. But it was funny how like looking back, we were like, why did we care that much?
How old are we at that point?
18, 17, 18.
No, we were like 17. Yeah,
17,
'cause second year of college.
17. Christ.
First year of college.
It's a long time
It
ago.
was first year.
Yeah.
Was it?
Did
Did we
yeah,
start my first year of
it
college?
was
Yeah, totally
before Christmas break. We started simply talking video. Simply
Christmas
Skype.
holidays.
Yeah, because we did all.
We'd
the-
known
the
each
Christmas
other.
thing.
Sorry, please spoke over that. We've known each other. We'd known each other about 6 or 7 weeks when we started simply Skyping,
Yeah.
and then
We
we
were
did
just like,
that.
We'll do. That'll do.
Yeah.
As good as it's gonna get. Here we go.
Would find anyone better? Nah, these three.
God, I wonder if we'd still be like as friendly as we were if
No
we
way.
didn't.
All right. Fuck you know.
I think about that because like it's especially you two because you live far away, so
Yeah.
it's harder for
Yeah,
us.
I wouldn't be friends with Cameron.
If we didn't have a show together, even if we did go to uni like we did,
Yeah.
he would have just sat the opposite. Because there were people.
I remember him.
There were people in that class, that college class, who again we really got on with.
Yeah.
Never saw them after college ended.
Nah.
Literally the day college ended, it was like, well, we're done.
Well, it's safe like school. There's some people I really got on with at school.
I don't know. I was kind of bullied in school, so I didn't really like a lot of people.
Here's the thing. I think that it's a weird. It's like it's not a word for it. It's weird because I think if the channel had ended when we left college,
Yeah.
we'd have absolutely stayed friends.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the channel, doing the channel so suddenly and so intensely is what made us be suddenly close friends. Like there was,
yeah.
like within about 4 months of knowing you guys, it was like, right, well, it's like with max level, you know what I mean? We're done because of the channel.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe we'd never done the channel, we would have, you guys to me and me to you guys would have been like, we just faded into the group of friends from college.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
what ended up happening was I had the group of friends from college, and then I had you guys who I was doing the channel with. And
And because we were doing the channel together, we then were like, well, every project we get, let's try to be in the same group. Because
Yeah,
then we
yeah.
could do this, and it could be like, we have all the equipment.
What I'm saying is we hate each other, but we work together out of convenience.
There's that one time where we were put into groups or something, and
And Judith was like, fuck Reese.
fuck Reese. All you lot, you friends, you're together. Reese, fuck off in that direction. Actually, we were groups, JT.
JT also, this is back when JT did no work.
Yeah, JT. We were friends, but also couldn't count you for.
I remember
it's just
Reese.
that-
Yeah, I
this is
didn't care
before
much
we
for
were
media.
friendly.
Yeah,
JT.
you were. Yeah, you were kind of done with the course at that point, but like
Done with the what? Sorry.
done with the
Oh,
course.
yeah,
I thought he said
yeah.
down with
Yeah.
the course. You were one
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah, you were done with the course, and like we had to shoot this film, and you were on the audio, and like to be fair to you, you stuck in there, and you
even
stayed until we
remember.
finished it.
What did
It
we
was
film?
at St. Louis.
You don't remember
what,
the film?
sorry?
I was in
You
it as
don't
well.
remember- yeah, you were the main
I was
character.
the main character.
The two of us in Lewis, right?
Okay.
As a group.
Right.
I had to film and direct everything.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck Lewis was doing.
Just lied
It was
down
acted,
and went to
didn't it?
sleep.
Didn't he? Wasn't Lewis like
I don't know what it
the
was.
second character at some point?
Maybe.
What-
All I remember is
What was it? What was the,
I,
what
I
was
remember
the
this
script?
so
It was
vividly.
about a war veteran who had like nightmares with people.
Which for
who
some
killed
reason
him.
was
Yeah.
everyone's script. No one
Trend-
talked about
trending
that.
at
We
that
just
point.
all
Yeah,
did
yeah,
war
yeah.
veteran scripts.
Yeah, I barely remember that.
I just
time.
distinctly remember sitting in that chair. You guys were filming me for it, and like I'm looking over at JT, and it's like I can see it on your face. You've checked out, but you're still doing the job. You know, you're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
doing the sound.
God bless you. You know.
Thanks, guys. For this
is back when
point
he
in
was,
time where I
Mr.
have no
Blue.
memory.
He wasn't even JT or Jack Thomas. He was just Mr. Blue.
Mr.
Puff.
Puff. He was Mr. Puff.
No, it was after Mr. Puff.
It was never
Mr.
Mr. Blue.
Blue.
He was just Mr. Puff. Then
no,
then
no,
he was
Blue was Chris, wasn't he?
I thought
No,
John
Green.
was
Green.
Was it Green?
we sound so dumb. We sound like idiots.
Mr. Blue.
No, that was
Mr.
Green.
Blue.
And then there was Raymond. And Reese was a swan.
No, it was Jack.
Jack, that's
Yeah,
it.
where we had
Oh,
three other Jacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Three Jacks, but you were the only one.
I was
Jack.
called Jack.
I forgot about that. Fucking
Oh
hell.
my god, that
Oh,
was,
it was
so
cool.
long
Yeah.
ago.
All right. So what
Yeah,
happened
so I was
then?
sitting in the chair. This is not related to Man on Fire at all.
Yeah, it's just like our colleges.
Yeah, okay. I think it's appropriate. I was sitting in the chair doing Reese JT's and friend Lewis's short film. Watch the wire there, JT. Okay. And that's what Reese said to JT. No, I can see like JT he's checked up, but he's still doing his job. Reese then trying to keep all the fucking plates spinning. Turns to Lewis to say something, and he's asleep. He's like, Lewis, can you?
You can't fucking talk shit about falling asleep on fucking film sets.
I didn't fall asleep. I chose to go to sleep.
We were like talking. We were like, all right, cut. And he was like, all right, do we have to film anything for it? No, I'm just going to check over the footage. Okay. Walked over to the side, fell asleep. Wake me up when we need to do something else.
Wake me up when you find the coats.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we're going to do the next set. Try to shake Jack, talking about Jack Morris. Try to shake Jack awake. He goes, what the fuck do you want? I'm like, we're in fucking college. We got to film something. What are you doing? Meanwhile, fucking Reese and Corey are cuddling, falling asleep on the other. He was like a sleepaway camp.
No. You have to remember.
Oh, yeah, not
different
you.
Reese.
Sanders and Corey.
sorry, Yayan and Reese. Right, I was going somewhere with that. That project was really fucking funny to me. The one where first project, pick your own groups, 4 of us. It was we say 4. We're talking about the 3 of us and John. Like JT, we knew you, but
I
we
wasn't
weren't,
around at this point.
No, you weren't to the
I hadn't
JT
been,
that we know and
I
like.
hadn't been
Yeah,
birthed.
whose group are you in?
Christ, if I don't remember us filming, I don't remember who else.
How do you not remember college?
That's true. No, wait, he wasn't in a group
Already
because we
at
never.
college.
That wasn't for college. The first.
Or
thing
do we just
did.
just do it?
Was Judith Hunt. Not Judith.
Just share a last name
Don't
as
say
well.
your fucking last name.
Judith Hunt. No. What was her name? Sarah. Sarah came to us and was like, "There's a competition. Do you guys want?"
No,
to
I came to you. I found the competition, motherfucker.
Because Sarah found it.
I
Sarah
enlisted
found
her to help me talk you into it,
What
but
the fuck?
she might have convinced you.
I'm sure it's
Because
Sarah.
she printed it out and she gave it to everyone in the class. And
Yeah, we were
the
sitting
only
in
ones-
class and she gave them all out.
and we were the only ones that actually cared.
And then we were
might
like, yeah,
be
we'll do
right.
that egg thing.
All right.
What I remember. Oh no, not the
Really?
egg thing.
No, that's
That
Oh,
was
no, it's different,
monotony.
yeah.
You were talking about
No.
Madonna.
It's so long ago. You might be right.
It doesn't matter anyway. Let's go on with the stories. Yeah? What happened?
Anyway, so Lewis edits the film.
Okay.
Right?
Oh my god.
And I wrote it and everything, and I did everything. And I was like, Lou, you did fuck all, so you can edit it.
Right. Okay.
Right? All fine.
Yeah.
And then
But
he
What? Yeah.
was like, he made this like weird, abstract, like avant-garde
Edit of it.
edit
Too much credit.
of the thing where like
So what did you film?
starts from the big. It was like,
What did you film? You were
what
there.
do you mean? What did you film?
You filmed.
This is hours, yeah.
Jack and Lewis.
Yeah, this is hours. Also,
I don't
Jack,
know memory of this.
Jack
I'm
wasn't
trying
in. Jack wasn't in the group. I hired him to be the main actor.
This was the war vet
War vet.
Yeah.
flashback one, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't
have-
it
have
confused with my war vet?
Yeah, not to do that war
Yeah,
vet one.
that I was also in, and not to be confused with Kian's war vet thing that I was in,
Look, we like war vets, right?
and me.
Future First Blood.
If you watch the 3 movies back to back, it's the weirdest trilogy. I go on a journey.
Right. So
So, all right. So our film,
our film.
Our
that I
film
clearly
now, right?
remember. Yeah,
Very
clearly.
clearly.
Oh, how could I forget?
I'm pretty sure after we finished it, you left immediately.
My work
Like,
here
like,
is done.
like,
Was
That
this
you
the
just
end of the first
faded
year?
into existence.
Was this the end of the first year?
Yeah, it was the end of your film. It was the project we had to do for the end of the year.
Right, okay.
and then you, literally the day after,
Right. that
I
was
didn't
it.
see you for like until you joined the channel,
I was in hiatus.
basically. All right.
Okay, right.
So I gave it to Lewis to do. All right. We were editing on like, we had like code these
These film.
tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were editing on film
Which,
in
as an adult,
2012.
sounds dope as fuck.
Yeah,
But as
which,
a kid was like, what is this fucking shitty old technology?
As an adult, it's like, why the fuck are we filming on film?
Yeah,
But
but
does sound
that
dope.
sounds cool as
Yeah,
fuck.
it's cool to say like I have like made a film that was
'Cause I'd
shot
like
on
to
film.
shoot on film
Yeah,
in the future.
Yeah.
But at the time,
It was like, what the fuck?
what are we doing?
transcode, like, yeah, transcode the tape into the computer so that we could edit it rather than just put an SD card in.
Those
We're
sorts
making
of
fucking
things.
Daredevil.
We had like shit tons of DSLRs everywhere.
Yeah.
That made like
Yeah,
better
exactly.
image quality
Yeah.
than anything else.
Pretty sure we all had phones in our pockets that had image quality.
But yeah, so we had to do that. So I was like, Lewis, I've transcoded everything. All the edit is there. Here's the script. Because, you know, you need to follow it and everything. I've like storyboarded it out for you as well.
Okay.
I've done everything. Just edit it, all right? And he's like, yeah, no problem, no problem. And then,
And then
Oh.
you didn't see it until it was being premiered to the class.
What?
Luckily-
Did you have any pretense to this? Before?
look, I did an edit as well.
Oh, a backup edit.
Yeah,
as
because
well.
I was like, I'm not going to trust him. I edit it myself, right? So
How
my edit,
prolific you were.
my edit is quite cohesive
Right. Okay.
because it's like following my plan, basically.
You know, you put the clips in order,
Yeah.
and yeah.
And Lewis's edit is everywhere.
Really?
There's no structure to it at all.
So are you
right?
saying it was everywhere in terms of scenes being the wrong way round?
That's just the beginning.
That's it, you know? There were scenes playing backwards.
This is the funny thing is, when Reese first came up to me in college and explained to me what happened, I thought that he meant that Lewis had got the footage and just put it on the timeline.
Okay.
So he didn't give any thought that scenes were shot before.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
shoot
yeah.
and film in order most of the time.
Right.
So, but that's not what happened. Lewis put it on the timeline, and then we're like, mix them up, put some of them in. He must have just been dropping randomly.
He must have just like didn't give a shit.
The scene is good where he picks the phone up, and then he goes, puts it down and walks out backwards out the door.
This was the class get both classes. There was 2 media classes. We were all in one. There was another one. Both classes in one room. We're going to watch all our films. You know, most of them went fantastic.
Luckily.
Luckily, I played Duplicity. Yeah, it was finished.
Yeah.
Which was more than most. And then I'm waiting for Reese to come up because I'm like, you know, I remember shooting it. It turned out quite well. It was
Yeah.
good. I feel like I acted okay. It was going to be good.
Asleep on set.
Didn't fall asleep on set.
Although you were in a bed, so
Could have.
Yeah, so I could have, and I didn't.
You could have done.
Hey.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Discipline that is.
So you ruled by fear. I was like, yeah, okay, you can go to sleep.
And then Lewis has come on, and the first couple of shots, I'm like, that doesn't look right. don't think I said that. Don't think that's what I said it.
And then you look to me, and I just like my mouth is just like dropped. And I, oh. And I look at Lewis, and he was smiling at me like thumbs up, like. It's like, what?
That must have been, to bring it back to Man on Fire.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
put out this podcast, that must have been the moment where you're like, I'm never working with anyone but these guys ever again.
Well, no, that's the moment where our lecturers all realised that as well, because they
Oh, yeah,
never
yeah.
split us up again.
Yeah.
For every other project, it was like, all right, the Man on Fire
Yeah.
lot. The
Yeah, 'cause I-
YouTubers in quotation
Because
marks.
I gave the lecturer my cut. And I was
Right,
like, this is what it's supposed to be look
Right,
like.
right,
And she looked and said, oh, okay, I get it now. So she marked me on that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fuck
nice.
me, it was so funny. I remember when that happened, the next year, we finally got into a group with all of us. Again, this is
For film. We were in groups with all of us henceforth.
Yeah,
But there wasn't
yeah,
a film
yeah.
project with a full.
Yeah.
But the final year film of this was when Jack Thomas had dropped out of the course and did a different film course.
And had vanished from our life for what would be about
We did
9
A
months.
level, did you?
I did. I did sociology, film studies, and English lit.
Oh, cool.
That's lit.
Right.
That's why he turned into this old man that he is.
Yeah.
today. He transformed from
Thank
the
God
scene
you said it,
kid.
because I didn't want to insult him. Why are you dressed like a
I
geography
like
teacher?
it. It makes me feel happy. Okay.
But it also is the most accurate representation of who he is inside.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
You know,
embodiment
like when
is
he had
very
the
old.
piercing and the long hair, it was like
I was running away
you
from
were
myself.
duping us. You were duping us. But this, your haircut, your glasses, your fucking sweatshirt, even your fucking old
You're
man socks,
like 1970s.
and your
looking
just
shit.
in
These
case
are-
I
these are-
soil
these are-
myself
these are-
trousers. This whole getup is
There's
like
pockets of zips, by the way, just in case you can't drop anything.
Gotta stop them news robbing my shit.
That's amazing. I love this outfit so much.
So that is,
Shit
it's
myself.
like if I saw you, I could judge you by your cover
Yeah, yeah.
if you were a book, and I would be completely right. I would know all the twists. Anyway,
We were saying about the second year.
yeah, the
film.
second year we did one,
Second
and I
year film,
remember
yeah.
the thing we took away from it was we showed our lecturer. We were the only ones who did the film, by the way. No one else completed
Yeah.
the film that
Yeah,
year.
well,
just
we won an
kinda gave up.
award, an in-college award for it. For
Well,
best
actually, we won an Oscar. So
film. Yeah, we won an Oscar.
Yeah, an Oscar.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure
won
we've
an
made this
Oscar.
joke a lot, but we've won an Oscar.
we won an Oscar.
We won an Oscar.
I am an Oscar-winning filmmaker.
Are you? Funny enough, I too am an Oscar-winning filmmaker. Never explain it.
Never
Never
say. We've
say
done that on 8 podcasts. So, but I remember when we first
I
showed
love the idea of
it.
somebody, sorry, I love the idea of somebody completely missing the joke and think the joke is that we're just lying.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason we had.
You
No,
can't
no.
quite hear us say.
No, 100%. I'm an Oscar-winning filmmaker.
I know you are. I was there when you won your Oscar.
Yeah.
Damn it, that ruined it.
I was at the Oscar.
No, the illusion.
It's
7.
broken.
7.
You were like, yeah, I was there when you won your Noscar.
Fuck that up.
Anyway, but before the ceremony where we showed all the films and got the awards, we showed it to a lecturer when we first finished the first draft, and she laughed.
She
laughed
burst
at
out
me.
laughing.
It was
You
a
know-
drama,
Oh.
but she laughed at John Webster's performance.
No, she didn't. You know why she laughed? We filmed it on her street.
Oh,
That's why she laughed. Yeah,
She
because
didn't explain that to us in the
no,
moment.
well, she didn't. I don't think she wanted us to know that's where she lived. But yeah, totally. Because I remember it turned into. I didn't really catch what she said, but it's easier to fill in the blanks. She turned to the other lecturer who was watching and was like, "That's my street."
Oh,
She literally lives on that street. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah that's why
Okay.
she laughed. It's
So
not because we suck.
let's swat it, shall we?
Laugh at this.
Bitch. She actually comes to the Gwyn Hall all the time. Anyway, so
Why?
yeah,
That's
I-
it's so weirdly threatening.
yeah. No,
She actually-
I know her
can
routine.
find her.
It's every Tuesday.
But yeah, it was weird. And then we came out of college, and then I feel like when we first came out of college, and we were doing stuff. Was that when we were doing like mostly gaming?
We should really have like a timeline of what we have.
Yeah, that'd be nice. We
So
should
I have
have
no
a
idea
really
what it was
in-depth
because
one.
everything's just like blended as
There was a
one.
point
Oh,
where
bless.
fucking like nothing was happening, and it was just like you and John.
Yeah.
Well, we talked.
the
We did
time.
actually. That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I
we
remember
talked about that.
talking
We
about
talked
that
about
in
it,
the
yeah.
previous bit. Yeah,
Oh,
but
fuck,
it
worst
where it,
podcast ever.
Yeah, how like
Right. Let's see. How much of that does JT remember?
Wait, what are we talking about now?
Remember John?
remember John?
Yeah, I think we
John.
rattled you about
John.
sending
Oh,
dick pics
yeah,
then.
of course. How could I forget?
Yeah, you did rattle. You were sending dick pics. Any
Yeah, I did,
developments
I
there?
rattled
In the
it. No
previous-
more. No more
Good.
lately.
Probably for the best.
Maybe
Audio
maybe
based.
soon.
And he is rubbing the shit out of his pedal right next to his mic.
Is ADR? No, not ADR.
ADR?
Audio after the film's out.
What's it called?
ASMR.
ASMR.
Oh, yeah.
Stop doing that. Reese just stopped you. Learn.
What are you
well,
asking me about John?
I was no. Yeah, do you remember him?
About our
Yeah.
early years. we
Reece,
took-
what's your favourite show? Terminator.
oh yes, the famous show.
Chronicle.
yeah, it's not called Terminator.
It's Terminator. No,
Like-
it's not called Terminator.
I like
Why do they
Terminator.
call it Terminator?
Because-
Why do they call it Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Because
Could have watched
it's
that over
Chronicles about-
Terminator the show.
I just spoiled it for you. Nobody did watch it.
And I also hate to spoil you. The Terminator's not in it.
What?
No, it's not.
He was a female Terminator.
You're a female Terminator.
There is a film of Terminator. Favorite
Hate to
show.
break it to you. Yeah, I never seen it.
Obviously, fan fiction is a big favorite.
Mm.
But other than that, I love board games.
Board games.
That's
Board
really
Games was
big
a
board
short-lived
Yeah.
blast.
How
But it
many
was
episodes
super
that were
fun.
there?
Only about 10. We didn't do many.
I thought
10.
it was like 6.
Way more than I thought. 16. Hang on.
There was, maybe there were more. There was
There
either-
was 800.
There was maybe more board games. I can look that.
There
up.
was
Do
more
you
than 10.
remember the
The
fucking
21st
episode that was like an hour long, and you were like, "Just give it to me, I'll edit it."
It was what's that board game?
Yeah.
The actual
Articulate.
board- Articulate. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
we had a good setup for that as well. We
Yeah.
put the
It
table
was
up.
like proto arcade crowd.
Yeah.
You like
I liked.
Anime
What
duo.
was the one we did? It was like we had both two cars that had our names on it, Cam, and I was like, which?
who
which
do you think would?
Yeah,
bang?
yeah.
yeah.
So you think
it was like a
would
Mr. and
blank?
Mrs. kind of thing.
Yeah. And we'd hold them up at the same
Yeah,
time, and you'd be like,
yeah.
yes or no.
Yeah,
No,
that
but
was
like Reese or Cam, and
yeah.
one was like, who do you think would like
Oh,
win
yeah,
in a
yeah.
fight? or
Yes or
something?
Yeah.
no.
It's like
Who do you
that.
think would win in a fight?
Yes.
Yes. It's like that marriage game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
original.
just Mr. and Mrs.
Oh my
I just
Oh, did you? I missed
yeah.
it.
Right, we did.
16. I'm getting it. I'm calling it
16.
16.
Okay, let's.
We
have
didn't do
some
more than
guesses while I
10.
scroll.
16.
I don't even think there was 16 fan friction. So
Well, you'll be delighted to know there were 16 fan frictions.
Ooh.
There was 24 one runs. We'll get to one. Now.
Oh,
I'll talk
one
about
run.
run.
I liked
That
one
was
run.
those were the 3 shows we did, and I was editing one run.
One
we
run
we
had
took
my
one of those 3 each.
Yeah.
And I was doing one run. Reese was doing fan friction. Cam was doing board games, and JT was doing crack.
I was doing crack.
And then we sort of
Dark
shared out
days.
some of the others as well. There were 12 board games,
I was close.
and 16 fan frictions, 24 one runs.
24.
We did a lot of one runs.
We did a lot of
They
videos,
were
huh?
easier.
Yeah. One run was fun though.
I actually put out a tweet for everyone who didn't know. One Run was a show we did where we did a let's play as a group, in a game, and the goal was to survive for 10 minutes. And if you died, video ended. Literally hard cut to black, or sort of, and that was it. So it was like this. It was tense. It was so tense because if you fucked up, that was it. Video's done, and there was an incentive to at least make it a few minutes so we have a video. And I loved that concept. One Run was it was a fun show to produce, and
You didn't love it enough to not completely break the rules once though.
I did completely break the rules.
Yeah.
Only because it was the second one.
That happened. It's like the cinnamon challenge again.
Look, it was
You faked
2
the
years
second
ago.
episode.
You're like Fousey Tube 2. Fousey
You're like worse Fousey
Tube.
Electric Fousey tube.
No, what do you saw with that?
Fousey Throop.
Electric Fousey
We filmed the first One Run, which was Super Meat Boy.
Yeah.
Lasted for a good few
Oh,
minutes.
yeah.
Very tense, very exciting. Then we filmed the second one, which
Trials.
was
Trials, yeah.
And I fucked up immediately. It was like 9 seconds.
Yeah, we were like, you gotta cut it. You gotta cut it.
Reese and I, probably the closest we've ever come to blows. Reese and I were about to beat the shit out of Jack Morris because we established the rules.
Clear rules.
Reese and I was so obsessed with this idea of like, this is gonna be fucking amazing. It'll be like you have to, and like you have to.
Yeah,
not stop
you
it.
have to stop.
And then you were like, I'll just go again, and we were like, fucking what? Like we were like the gods of one run. And we were like, never.
For the record, on record, it was only because it was the second video and we hadn't really established
That's
the
a
show
great
yet.
way to showcase it. You fucking stop it at 9 seconds, and then we have 9 minutes and 51 seconds.
I remember when we pitched the idea, we pitched this idea, and they was like, oh yeah, and we were all bouncing off each other. And then it was like a couple days later, you messaged being like, been thinking about one run, what if? And we were like, no.
Stop it.
Yeah, but what if? No. And we were like, well, the first one's going to have to last. No.
Yeah,
That was the only one we faked, I think.
that was the only one. Yeah.
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 There was
still left a taste in my
we
mouth.
Yeah.
all
cut
these years.
the
That's
end.
what's carved into my fucking bedpost. It's like one run failed.
the N++ one. It wasn't faked, but we didn't put out my run in that. We put out yours, Cam.
Yeah, because that was the point where we were like literally like arguing, and we're like,
Yeah.
you were like, okay, compromise. What if we don't put that out, but we do it with you? And I was like, yeah, okay. Because you were like, I can't show people how bad I am.
That wasn't what I was
That
like.
was
yeah.
100%
I didn't want to put out a
the
bad
reason.
video. And
Because
also,
I was worse than you, but you were like, no, I'm good at this. This doesn't accurately represent my fucking.
you know, how long ago was that? Like,
I'm a Halo champion.
I was really good at Halo, right? Wow, it was awesome at Halo. Yeah, I was thinking about One Run. It's a show that I wish I tweeted this. I wish more people had got, because there was a lot of people that
Hang on.
I
There's
wish-
9 minutes of blank space in this. What's going on here?
well, it wasn't 9. It was
however many.
15, because we were getting to 10.
Oh yeah.
So I always made it 15 so they were always the same length. Even if we
Yeah.
did the 10 minutes, there'd still be a bit of black to make every video the same length. So it didn't spoil it, you know? So you didn't click on a video that was 12 seconds and be like, oh, well, they're going to fail in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I know that. It's very fucking solid. Yeah, we had to do that for the show to fucking work. So many people, not so many people, but like quite a lot of people would come into our comments and be like, who the fucking did that for ad revenue? First of all, no mid-roll ads. You
Yeah.
can tell that by the yellow thing on the time
Don't you
player.
actually have to watch through? all of
And
it
if
as
there
well?
were mid-roll ads, you'd have to watch
Who's
it.
gonna
Yeah.
sit there and watch
You
through that
sat
much
there.
black space?
Yeah,
you know?
watching through.
There's going to be someone any minute now. I can feel it.
You're 7 minutes in.
They've got ad revenue out of me.
Give me my money back.
What was that Jack's Films video? Where it was like,
What was the
oh,
punchline?
he just gave me AdSense,
Oh
basically.
yeah, when it was fuck. He's like saying something like he did something,
Yeah.
and
It was like a song, and at the end, he was like, "You just gave me AdSense," and
yeah,
then
fuck
he started
off.
dancing.
But yeah, the thing with One Run, honestly, like it was one of those weird things where it was such a pure idea when we pitched it.
Literally,
But,
your
like-
suggestion of that, because it was your idea, Cam, was we were coming up with ideas for this sort of revamp. We were like, right, we got board games, we can do fan friction. Maybe we should try the band and comic of the week thing. We kind of need a few more. We need to make sure we're doing at least 7 videos. And you were like, right, I got the dumbest idea ever. What if when we die, the video ends? And then you started laughing because it was a joke. And we were like, well, hang on now a second. There might be something there. Can you raise your mic a little bit? It's drifted.
Yeah, it's got a bit limp. The thing with it though is that it can never be the thing that we wanted it to be, because in my mind it would like, we did even debate this before we even put out the first episode. It's like, is it ruining it? The black is the black ruining it? Because the funniness to me, part of it was you watch the video and then you die and you go fuck, and then literally the video
Yeah.
just stops and like it starts auto playing the next thing. But like, again, you couldn't do that without spoiling it. So it was a toss up between people would know if they were looking, but if you were a fan of the show, you could click on it and just kind of.
Well, that's why that outro bumper, that was the compromise for that. So when
Yeah.
we died in One Run, it wasn't just like cut to black. There was it flew in, it was like dunk on the screen,
Yeah.
One Run, and then it faded to black. And I think that at least had the same effect of it. The video just hard stopping, like the fuck dunk, and then we're gone.
I think, yeah, but again, it was one of those examples, and there were a couple of these over the years where like the idea for the show we could never carry out, whether for budgetary reasons or because of the platform we're on. It was like we'd have these ideas, and like that was one of those where it was like so stupid, but it was stupid to the point where it couldn't work in its original format. You know?
Yeah.
And originally it was not even. It was like we were like. It was like a big intro and like, hi guys, what's going on? Welcome to One Run. This is gonna be great. All right, I'm pressing play now. Fuck. And then the fucking it's like the 10 best titties in anime. It's loading up.
Somebody in the comments of the One Runs way back when we would do that. I can't remember how this. No, this was kind of recently actually. Somebody suggested about One Run that it would be an idea if instead it was 1 run each. So the video was
Yeah.
guaranteed to be a certain length because there'd be 4 people taking an attempt instead of 1.
okay.
I like that idea, but it ruins the bluntness. I think the
Yeah.
bluntness.
It's
Yeah.
different style, and it's
Yeah.
different kind of video, I think.
And it
It's-
also
it's-
like that's what made it so tense. At least doing it was like I've got to perform because I'm gonna
Yeah.
ruin the video
I
in
just
theory
gotta
if I
perform.
die.
Funny enough, bringing this back to
JC, shut
something.
the do you want to take us outside and kick my ass?
Bringing this back to something we talked about earlier, I think it would work now as a live stream. Because Sips does this thing where is a running joke where he never ends his stream. Sips is a streamer, by the way, if you didn't know. He never ends his streams like with a hey, thank you so much and stuff. He'll die in a video game and he'll just click the button and the stream will end. And it's really funny. But I was watching it once and I was like, fuck, that would work for One Run. Because you'd never know when it was going to end because it was live.
Yeah.
You know? So you'd be streaming and then you'd die and then you'd hit the button and the stream would just shut down and you'd go offline.
But also, like, part of streaming is for the first like 5 or 10 minutes, you're waiting for people to show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how funny would it be if you had 10 minutes in the menu going, hey guys, oh, thank you for subbing, Ninja Nuts 5000, thank you so much. Oh, thanks for the donation. Okay, guys, everyone enjoying? Okay, we're all in, right, let's start. And then you press start, you die, and you go, okay, bye.
Could also do like a countdown. No, it starts like an hour out, like 1 run beginning in an hour.
Yeah.
It counts so people know to show up, and then it starts.
right.
You're like, oh, I'm gonna run, and if I die, it's over. Fuck!
Yeah.
It would be funny. I'm not sure how it would catch on though.
No, but again, that's the thing.
That's
Some
the
of the
whole
ideas we
point,
had
isn't it? Yeah.
It's like, this would be funny for us only.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite videos. Like you said with the fish, like I'm not sure that was the best idea for a Let's Play channel to film a whole fucking live action section after it, but we did it because it was like amazing, and it came together when it was like Mike was like, I think I got a fish at the bottom of my freezer.
Is that where it came from?
Yeah, because we were like, how do I get a fish? It's so fucking expensive. Like we had no money, and Mike was like, wait a minute,
I know just.
I have a
There's a
fish.
fish that's been at the bottom of my freezer for 3 years.
Like,
I haven't
perfect.
touched it. And he defrosted it overnight.
The sentence
Good man.
That's so much prep. That's amazing.
The sentence Cam just said, it all came together when Mike said he had a fish. I'm
shit
actually-
like that, like, and as Minecraft,
And as Minecraft got more popular,
as
Minecraft got
Malfire
more
went on,
popular.
I started to become. I don't know. Might have been shared by everyone, but I started to become less and less like, oh, let's make a YouTube channel and get subscribers and stuff, and it became more and more like what would make us laugh.
Yeah, I think that's what
totally.
like the last kind of like 6 months of
Yeah.
videos we put out have
The
been.
last year has been my favorite. I think.
Yeah.
same here for sure.
You know.
As soon as we switched to the kind of arcade crowd style, even when we were Man on Fire, I think
It's a
there was a
it's
kind of
fresh,
feeling
isn't
around
it?
with us. It was like, we know this is not going to go anywhere,
Mm.
but it's
Yeah.
fucking fun, so let's just
yeah,
do it.
to sort of pull the curtain back, we knew we were ending the channel. Oh god, back September last year, maybe October
Yeah.
last year.
Not ending specifically, but we knew that it was going to come to some
Be a
sort of.
change.
Yeah, come
Yeah.
to some.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be able to do the transition while being a part of the
Yeah.
channel, so we knew like eventually shit. We didn't know when, but we knew sooner or later, sometime after Christmas, we'd be winding this down. And because like what you just said there, Cam, about like talking about these shows, the board games, the things about doing what you enjoy. It was absolutely. It became that for you guys, but for me, it was definitely still like, fuck, I really got to hopefully figure out a way to make some money from this, because this is not so
Yeah.
much the YouTube thing, but the self-managed content production thing is what I want to do, you know? So it was still that for me for the longest time. Even the beginning of Arcade Crowd, modern Arcade Crowd, it was still like, God, I would love this to be what I... And to be honest, once it became Arcade Crowd, it was less about the self-produced content thing and more just, oh my God, I want to play games with my friends for a living. This would be incredible if we could do this, have money, make a set, turn this into a show. But then it got to, once we knew we're in, we called it the victory lap, which ended up going on way longer than we thought it would.
Victory marathon.
Oh, I was about to say.
Oh fuck!
Victory marathon. From then on, it was like exactly what you're saying. Of just, I don't care anymore. I'm having fun. I'm going to keep doing it because I need to keep busy. B, I still have to have some semblance of doing a job, even if I'm not making money from it. And C, this is just fun. It's so much fucking fun.
It was, and it was weird because that was such a switch for you, but for me, and I don't know about for you, Reese, and Jack, obviously you joined later, so I don't know what the situation. I don't know if you just always did it for fun, but like for me, it was like a slow burn of like slowly treating it less and less like a. Like for the first like 2-3 years, it was like this is gonna work, and then
especially
it was
that first year. I think
Yeah,
that first
yeah.
year
Oh,
was
yeah.
hardcore. Like, we're gonna be famous next
Yeah.
month. Let's keep at this.
it was like this is gonna work. Then it was like this might not work, but let's keep trying. Then it was this probably not gonna work, but let's keep trying.
Yeah, yeah.
And then eventually, I just do this for fun now. And then it became like the way that I hung out with you, and with it was like. Well, the problem that arose, and we did solve this, was like it got to the point where we none of us knew what it was anymore, and
What
you
where
were
are you talking
scheduling
about?
it. I was talking about like how we were going to schedule something.
Timeline-wise.
Yeah, timeline wise. You would schedule something, and I would be like, "Oh, I can't hang out with my friends that day," and you'd be like, "No, it's not hanging out. It's like we need to do this." So it's like I was treating it priority down here. It was like, "Oh, if I have time, I'll hang out with you guys," and you were like up here being like, "No, this is what
we
we're doing.
need
This
all
is our
four of
job."
you.
Yeah.
So it was like all over the place. And I remember there was a time where we like had to like be like, all right, what is this? And that was when, and people might even know this if they were long, viewer of the channel. There was a point where Man on Fire stopped being a group and started being a group that had a head.
Yeah.
And it was a weird situation because it was like, there was like a couple months before that where I was like, oh, I'm just hanging out with my friends. But you were like, no, like this is a thing.
There was something happened. There was a weird after the 6 months we
We
haven't
kissed.
stopped talking about.
Like, we didn't talk about it. For
What
ages.
is this? What are we?
Damn, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
That's really funny.
There was after those 6 months, or really towards the end of those 6 months, where we
Slytherin
were.
socks.
He's got Slytherin socks
Yeah.
on, and it's not even
My
a
name is Ebony Rowena.
dementia Raven Way. It's not even a full sock; it's an ankle sock at the same time.
Ankle socks are futile.
What if you're wearing short? What?
Futile.
Futile.
Your ankle socks will never fucking survive.
Amount to anything.
Will
ankle
rue the
sock.
day you wore those ankle socks. Yeah, so the 6 months. It's weird that we keep putting that kind of time frame on it, but it really was because we started board games, fan friction, one run. This idea of right, let's do this variety idea that was the original idea for Man of Five Films, and let's do it right. Let's do it with everything we've learned over the last 4 or 5 years. Let's make the best Man of Five Films we can, and then. It was coming towards the end of that 6 months, and it's like, fuck, this still isn't. We're still not gaining views. We are producing content that we think is good, and even by today's standards, we're like, no, we were producing some good stuff then, and it's still not going anywhere. And around about that time, I released the Dark Souls guide, which exploded and is still our most viewed video ever.
Yeah.
So in my head, it was like, right, well, you guys suck. No. I'm joking. In my head, it was like, right, well, fuck, we've got something now. There's something that's doing well. So, all right, maybe I should just make more of those. All right, no, it takes me about 12 hours to make that sort of video. One of the ones that sticks in my head was the third guide I made, which was in the Dark Souls 3 DLC. You guys had asked me if I wanted to go see, I think it was Doctor Strange. Weird that I remember the film, but it was Doctor Strange, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
no. Well, I might come see Doctor Strange if I finish this video in time, but this is our videos now, you know what I mean? We can make this into something, grow it into something that we can all be a part of. So no, I'm gonna finish this video. It took me about 12 hours to I started working on it at about 12,
I remember
midday.
that day you messaged me being like, I don't know if I can live. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And I finished at midnight.
Wow.
And then I uploaded it, and no one really cared.
Yeah.
It was it still got more views than most of our videos, and now I think it's sitting at about 7,000, which is more than what we usually get. But compared to the 250,000 that the first guide had, 70,000 that the second guide had, it was no. Exactly the same thing that happens to most people now, where you put out one really good video, you put out the sequel, and there's just not that
it's
audience
diminishing
retention.
returns.
Yeah, and it just completely deflated me for at least making those guides. In hindsight, I wish I'd started me playing through the game in the form of a guide. I wish I'd done that immediately.
Yeah.
Because that was the problem. Is after I put out the DLC, when I was like, right, well, no one's searching the DLC bosses. Fuck, I haven't got any topics. I can't make another guide because there's nothing to make guides on. If I'd thought of doing the bosses, who knows? Maybe that idea could have gone somewhere. But from then on, I was like, okay, well, that editing style works. Maybe if I do Let's Plays myself, because it's hard to do cut-up group Let's Plays, it really is, because there's much less silence. And then we can have some videos that are me doing solo shit, some videos that are us doing group shit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It was very short-lived.
Yeah.
And the problem I found, which is what led into us becoming Arcade Crowd, was the stuff I was doing with you guys was much easier to edit, much simpler, much more fun, and was getting much more views.
Yeah.
And the stuff I was doing by myself had nothing. It had nothing going on. But but at the time it felt like, well, this is much more fancy. It's a chopped up, much more intensive edit. It in theory should be a better video, and it just wasn't. So then it was like, right, well, should we just do the fun shit?
Yeah.
Should we just do that?
Yeah, I think maybe people were a lot of people who were with us beforehand knew that we were a group channel. They knew there was a lot of people in there, so they were more likely to watch us together rather than just one person. I'd expect any of us to put us three to put one do what you did, put one out, and then have nobody watch it because
it just it was very different and very sudden. And there was also there was that, I'd say it was 50% that and 50% the games we could play together with the games people wanted to watch us play. Where I couldn't fucking do a solo Gang Beast video, fucking pointless.
Can you imagine that?
I'm
Solo
sure
guys.
there are some on YouTube. I'm sure some poor soul is like, I've got no friends, but I'm playing Dark Souls.
And it was that
you can play Dark Souls by yourself.
Yeah, you can. That's
I did.
the primary reason for playing Dark
Yeah,
Souls.
for quite a little bit. Jack did, and then we hopped on that save.
Most viewed video on the channel is me playing Dark Souls by myself. But yeah, it was I can't remember what the original topic was. It was to do with. I can't remember where I was going overall with that, but it was.
I was talking about stopping caring about the views?
Oh,
and caring
totally,
about-
totally.
yeah.
It was around about that time for me in terms of still wanting to make it something, but in terms of the content, realizing that like it doesn't matter if we're doing a million different unique things if we're not enjoying it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were enjoying the arcade crowd stuff.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you asked him, if you don't mind me answering for you, and then you
What?
allow me to put some words in your mouth about the gay people that aren't.
It's a lot better than what it usually puts in your mouth.
Yeah.
Heyo.
I think
He does a 40-hour podcast. Heyo.
so much longer. I think this might be our longest podcast now.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I've got an hour, so we can go
Yeah,
for
keep
another
going, keep
fucking
going.
hour.
All right,
One more hour.
it's kind of nice though.
4 more years.
I think it's nice that
So Arcade Cricket's re-elected. 4 more years of Music Mondays.
what if it was?
What fresh hell is this?
What if that was? The channel ended, but the one thing that fucking kept going was Music Mondays.
We started a new channel, Music Mondays.
No, I do think it's cool though that the last podcast we
On
had
the
was the
April
longest
1st one, we put it out on a Tuesday.
actually. But right, total tiny sidebar. When I was like scheduling out the Encore stuff, I ended up putting out the announcement a day later than I planned. It came out on the Sunday. I meant to put it out on the Saturday.
Right.
Mad lad.
I know,
Absolute
it's
mad
crazy. So that's the end of that story.
lad. Well,
And then everyone clapped.
No.
please clap.
And the original, it's sort of drifted a little bit now, but I wanted to do a video every other day. Now it's like every couple of days.
Whenever I can.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's all right. I'll just put up Music Mondays on Tuesday. And I was fully prepared to do that. And Cameron was like, so have you edited Music Mondays yet? And I was like, no, I'm going to put it out tomorrow. Can't
It's
do
in
that.
the name.
It's literally in the name. Anyway, going back to, like, I think that Man on Fire films, but we're really just making arcade cred videos 4 or 5 months. That's when you, JT, that is when you got into your stride. I don't know if that's when you started, like, enjoying it or whatever. I don't know internally what was going on, but, like...
What happens in that brain?
That noggin of yours.
Me neither.
But, like, it is... I mentioned this, I think, in the previous part of this podcast about the night and day difference between, like, the very first couple of arcade crowd style Man on Fire films videos and even the early after we changed our name to arcade crowd videos. And you are, like... It's like from a 6 out of 10
Chalk and cheese.
to 9 out of 10,
Chalk
10 out of 10.
cheese.
It's the same.
What do you mean?
Wow.
Chalk and cheese are
Upside
very
down
different
6.
things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the same. You did before.
Yeah, chalk and cheese.
Chalk and cheese. It's not chalk and cheese. It is.
Is that
What?
chalk?
What did you say?
Did you
Chalk,
ever...
chalk and cheese.
before that?
Oh, I said you said 6 to a 9. I was like, it's an upside down 6.
Did you ever...
That's the comedy we expect from him now.
That's what you
know,
brought out of
I
me.
was expecting a thank you for the compliment, my friend, instead.
you came to the wrong people if you
Yeah.
came for a comment. You see 6 years of content. Where it's like, oh, he's looking a little bit sad today. Let's break him.
You show the slightest flaw and we will pounce.
So, Jack Thomas, did you ever,
What's going on?
from the
Hello.
moment you joined,
Wait, so when did you realise you were Benjamin Buttoning?
Today, actually.
from the moment you joined,
Right.
when you replaced John, to now, was there ever any point where you were doing it thinking this is going to go somewhere, or was it always just for fun?
I think it was always more so just for fun.
Yeah.
I never thought it would go anywhere. But no, I think definitely the enjoyment of it was the forefront for me doing it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I want to just tweak the wording if I can. There was definitely even a shift for me where it went from this could go somewhere to I hope this goes somewhere, And I think that, honestly, that was around about when you joined. It wasn't that many years in.
You're like, it's never going to go anywhere with JT as a fan.
Now we're doing.
No, like even the
All this dead
atmosphere...
weight we have around.
The atmosphere you joined in was after... it was first year and a half of this is going somewhere.
Yeah, we are definitely going to make it.
Yeah, we are doing something that no one else is doing. This is the best thing. Even by the time JT had joined, it had gone from, like, this is definitely the thing for us to, let's just try and make something out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just remember you were like, this is my last year, man. This is my last year. And then next year, this is my last year.
It's my last year.
It's definitely my last year of trying. Next year, this is my last year. I told everyone in my family this was going to be the last year.
There's reasons, but you're not wrong. It was always, we always hit something
That was like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a reason to try.
right
Yeah.
before
You
I
know.
was, like,
It was like Deathstroke Origin. Then it was like Tori Bash. Then it was like Dark Souls guy. Well, there's a couple others as well.
the Dark Souls guide, because that the year we ended up doing Arcade Crowd, that was the year that wasn't meant to happen. That was the year that I was like, and I you know, it was year 4. I was like, right, if we get to 5 years and we ain't done anything, probably time to stop. And then we got to 5 years, and it was during that 6 months. It was like, no, we're working now. You know what I mean? It's working. It hasn't gone anywhere yet, but we really got to see this one out. Then it was the Dark Souls guide, which was another of like, I don't really want to stop now. I finally hit something good, you know. Then it come back around to it was like Arcade Crowd, you know, our 6-year anniversary, and I was like, I don't want to. I'm having fun. I don't want to stop.
We just pummeled that dead horse. Just keep beating the shit out of him.
And eventually, it started smiling.
You punch something dead enough, it'll make any expression.
But no, I do think there was
Maybe the dead horse will work if it plays Gang Beasts. Go on, dead horse, play Gang Beasts.
No, please.
Look, Tugger still likes the dead horse. He's still clapping at it. Wait, Ross, don't leave. The dead horse might do something.
Any second now. Ross!
Ross heading away.
one middle finger pointed back as he rides off into the sunset.
Ross!
We're making it
Look,
sound
it winked, Ross. It winked.
That might be the most doom and gloom we've ever made it sound, and it wasn't like that at the time. It was never that, literally never that doom and gloom. No, I do think, like, going back to what I was saying, like, the Arcade Crowd style content then is what you really excelled at.
It's what I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, and I think that showed so much. Like, yeah, you enjoyed anime.
Well, it's easy to do. It's improv, isn't it? And I think that's something that I really enjoy. Something that I find really funny.
Yeah,
and I feel comfortable doing it too. You know.
Even Anime Duo, we like had to give our opinion at some point.
Yeah.
And that bit was like fun, but it was like, this isn't. You
well,
know.
it was too rigid at the start. I thought. I'm not sure how it's turned out yet. Because when's it coming out?
Today.
Today. Is it? Cool. I'm excited to watch it again.
Give away what day we filmed the rest of it.
But yeah, I definitely thought the structure was, you know, there's a weird pressure there, you know. And I think if you eliminate that, then you truly get good stuff.
Yeah, and because there was never a point where, you know, if we're playing like, you know, cut to like 2-3 months ago, we're playing like Gang Beasts or something.
Yeah.
There's never a point where it goes, oh man, like this is funny because blank. It's like, oh well, no, you can't mention that. That's for the next segment of the video. Like there was a lot of that where it was like
totally.
you getting into conversations and then you go, oh, and that character as well. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's
Because that's
talk
the
about
divide then
characters.
between the structure of it and the natural flow of a conversation, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
And I think with improv, you have more of a natural flow of just whatever you're talking
being
about.
in
a lot of sorry.
Reese just looked like he wanted to kill Cam.
I thought he was gonna kiss me.
Oh, that's not a game show. Kill or kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, you could totally know where you just drop people's only their faces. Like, are they about to kiss someone or kill someone?
I think like, with improv,
sorry, that is outside. It's called coming or drumming. It's just crop
Oh, yeah,
faces. And are they coming or are they drumming?
yeah.
I think with the 4 of us in improv as well, it's easier to be like, if you're not feeling it today, or like if you're trying, if you're like, I found this as well. If you're having a hard time thinking of something, you can always rely on the other 3.
Yeah,
just to do
definitely.
something.
And it's a bit of support then as well.
There's a video of us, our last Mario Maker. Oh, was it? Well, no, Mario Maker.
Did
it was
we play Mario Maker?
No, Odyssey.
No, I was thinking that. I missed it.
And Danny
Odyssey.
was saying,
Yeah. Where am I? Last Odyssey video where like I just checked out. I was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
And, you can see any point in the video, I'm just there, just like, no, I'm fine. I'm good.
I remember there's
I just left it to you guys to do it.
there were moments where I was so, again, like Reese says, there were moments where you turn up and the odds are that there will be at least 1, 2, maybe even 3 people who are not checked out, you know? So it was okay
checked
sometimes.
out's a weird phrase. Like, just something has happened outside of Arcade Crowd. You
Yeah,
slept
I'm not
poorly
even-
or just not in a good mood.
Yeah.
It happens to all of us. You
Or
know?
some fucking baggage or something, and
Yeah.
you're just like staring at the wall. And I remember...
Or every now and again, the game would do it.
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
It totally does
There's
happen.
some boring ass games we
Yeah.
played.
Yeah, Tory Badge.
Let me-
No,
Fuck Tory Badge.
Tory Badge.
no, we went back in time and punched Hitler and Tory Badge.
That was my thing.
forgot
You guys
about
always would moan when we did the Tory Bash gameplays, but they always led to our funniest bits because I never force you guys to ever talk about the
Yeah.
game. It was,
But
I'll
N-
play it in the
N-
background, we'll do a podcast.
N plus though. I hate that game. Never any
JT.
fun playing.
Every single
time.
You'd see,
I-
like, I'd write down N++ as the game we're playing. And
Oh,
go,
I fucking hate
fuck, I
N+.
hate that
That's like the
game."
biggest plot twist in my life. That is my hatred for N plus to my sheer joy. For the game.
It's
Always
it always
enjoy it.
surprises you though.
It
at the
does,
same
I'm
time.
always
No,
surprised.
is it? And
I
he'd always
see the
hate
game
it,
and I'm
right?
like,
He'd go,
oh,
I
yeah.
hate this. He'd go into it thinking he was gonna hate it. He hated it, and then he would figure out the first level. He'd go, oh.
Oh, this game's fun, guys.
Oh, actually.
Let's
And then the
tick my
next
box.
level, I don't know why they might structure it this way, but then the second level was always the easiest. Because he was like, you just struggle through the first one. Second level, we do it like
That's what they
couple
get you in.
seconds.
That's what they
Yeah,
and
get
then
you
JT were like, oh fuck. And then the third level would be the rest of the video.
Yeah. It was always that, wasn't it? It was always
Yeah.
that third level. We were like,
Yeah.
how the fuck
Yeah.
do we do
And then
this?
we'd persevere for fucking so long
Yeah.
and finally do it, and then there'd be an equally as hard one. After.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
And
we're
then
back
like-
where we are now.
Kind of be like, we're out of credit.
I think that's the thing with N+ is like, JT would start the video hating the game, love it for most of the video, and then hate it at the end, and that's the opinion he remembers.
Yeah,
he remembers hating
that's the last feeling he has of the game.
Yeah, defeat is the last feeling I have.
It's the circle.
No, there were I love how it was like we should probably talk about Man of 5 Films, and we've gravitated very slowly back to talking about Arcade Craft, which is fine.
It's all the same shit though. Like we're talking about how like
Same shit, different name.
sometimes it's like the general tone. I feel like is like, you know, fun versus work.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and how it was like this weird like the two wolves is like which one do you like win? Towards the end,
Right, just hang on, hold on.
you guys know the two wolves.
Yeah, but
two
it doesn't
wolves,
makes any.
When two wolves go to war.
Yeah, the
Two
one.
was right. They're both cheating, but you need one as long as a champion. Who do you like win?
No, you know the two wolves.
Yeah,
I know
you
the
got
two
two
wolves,
wolves on
but
a
JT
raft,
knows.
and you can't
No,
cross the river with both the
I don't
wolves.
see how it relates.
Because it's like one of the wolves
That's like an
is,
internal conflict.
is let's fucking kill myself over making this good even though it sucks. And the other wolf is like, oh my god, this is so much fun. Let's only do it if it's fun. And it's like,
Yeah,
That
which-
just sounds like
which-
the two
which-
wolves that battle inside you. It's not a
Yeah.
relatable metaphor.
that's what I'm talking about.
But this is when you feed.
But you said it like we were supposed to know. Like, oh yeah, Cameron's two wolves. Yeah.
It's like the two wolves.
You
The
guys
two
know my wolves. You've seen my wolves, right? You've seen my energy.
There's one wolf who made his money by
Right.
smuggling drugs. There's another one who's a politician, but all his money is from like gun, like the NRA and stuff like that. Who do you think win?
That's Reese's two wolves.
Who do you think win?
One-
JT, right?
Is one wolf-sized duck.
And 100 duck-sized wolves.
Who will win?
Which one do you let win?
Oh my god, a duck-sized wolf.
It's not even that different.
It's just
Puppy.
It's just a cub. It's just a cub.
It's just a bit bigger.
All right, guys, we got a dog-sized cat or a cat-sized dog. Who's gonna fucking win?
Who would win?
You know.
Against who? That's like a Watch Mojo video.
Top 10.
Top 10 Spider-Man who drank coffee. Look at this Spider-Man drinking coffee.
These are 5 Minecraft YouTubers who've sworn.
Oh, the next video hit Deathstroke versus Batman comic guard. Dicks.
Oh,
I'll never forgive Watch
they never
Mojo
saw
for
the
that.
video.
No, I know. I know.
God.
Fuck. No, yeah, what you guys were saying there about like there's very little pressure with
Yeah,
the
the two
arcade crit
wolves.
stuff.
Who would win?
Yeah.
My two wolves. That was 90% of it for me. But there was that 10%, or maybe even 20 that you guys didn't have of like I still had to be a video at the end of the day. You know, I still had to have something to edit. So
Yeah.
it still took
Oh, fuck.
one person to like funnel the video, I guess, is how I started to watch and make sure there is a video at the end.
Yeah.
And that was easy from the vast majority of videos. Totally. It was fine.
There was some times where it wasn't, though.
There were some times where it wasn't.
Oh, fuck.
You know, there were times where like, because it's a balance. It's a placement and balance of we're doing an improv show and it's about us more than it's about the game. Really, it really is about us making jokes. But in doing video games, it's like, well, we do still have to be present in the game for people that are watching the video for the game that don't know us. We do still have to look at the screen and react and vamp off the game.
I am shaking my head.
That's how it has
These
to
are
be.
the two wolves, dude. These are the two wolves.
Do you look at the screen?
The wolf that doesn't want to look at the screen, and the one that won't stop looking at the screen.
The one that's blind but keeps talking, and the other one that's mute but only looks at the screen.
Which wolf are you?
There are definitely points, and this isn't about Arcade Girl. This is about everything we've ever done together, even going back to before Man on Fire. There was always this situation of me and sometimes Reese and sometimes John or Jack not realizing that we were making something as much as you were realizing it. And obviously we realized it consciously, but like subconsciously being like, what the fuck, you know? And whereas you were like, this has to be something, and then and causing things like, do you remember we've talked about it so many times, but it's still like one of my favorite memories. Not for you, but
Don't like where this is going.
The PlayStation All Stars video.
Yes, the All Stars video. I was thinking
one
about
of
that.
the best times in my life. I was like, that was amazing. Didn't work. All right, whatever. Start a walkout. Fucking Jack starts punching people, not people. So it's like throwing shit, like, I can't believe it didn't record, and I just could not understand at that point. I was too immature and too like, I don't know, wrapped up in my own shit.
What, you just didn't get it?
No, I didn't get why he was so. I know why you were bummed.
Can I give context to the audience because they're not going to know that because the video never came out.
Yeah.
And you weren't
I
there.
had no idea,
No,
yeah.
so back, it was one of the earliest Let's Plays
my
we
God.
ever filmed. Right?
What
It was-
year was this?
It was
Were we
before
back
you
when?
joined. So,
Like
because
year
John was
two?
there.
Right,
Year
okay.
two. It's probably second year.
Yeah.
We recorded a video on PlayStation All Stars. For anybody who doesn't remember that game, it was a Smash Bros. clone.
awesome.
Quite good. It was quite good,
Pretty
honestly.
bang, yeah.
And it was still, to this day, one of the best videos we have ever made. It was good up until a point. Then we did 2v2, me and John versus Cam and Reese. That went into like 6 times overtime. We tied.
It was mad.
Oh.
We tied.
Oh, nice.
And then just me and John went like Super Saiyan. And it was fucking
Oh.
Do you like
crazy.
the classic times where I want to team with Cameron and I'm trying, but Cameron's fucking up all the time. Like I was so surprised that Cameron got to 6 times overtime because
Right.
he was doing really well, and then it just went. I was like, Cameron!
Like,
I would like accidentally pop a special and just fall into John and kill him.
but me and John were both playing as the infamous guys. You can do like
Oh,
good and bad
good and
infamous.
bad Cole,
separate.
yeah,
Cole, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So both of them have a throwing ability, and there was a point where like basically if either team got 1 kill, that team was probably going to win because it was going into overtime because neither team were getting kills.
Okay.
Like, no kills, but it was tense, really tight. No kills, timer is out. No kill, timer is out. And then we got 1 kill. It's like, oh fuck, we've already won. And then we got like 12.
Yeah, floodgates
we were just
open.
fucking throwing them, and they're shrieking, screaming. One of the best
we were
videos.
trying harder to get a kill.
Yeah.
We were fucking up all the time.
Yeah.
We were
of course.
losing it.
We were
just
losing.
like,
Oh,
we gotta get a kill. We
once-
gotta get a kill.
Yeah.
Once
It
you
was
walk that momentum, it's dangerous to
Yeah.
recover then. Like, that's cool.
Absolutely
It's a shame.
fucking incredible. And then I got up, went to check the thing, and the it wasn't like we'd done it all right. That was, I think, the other bit that
Yeah.
annoyed me is we didn't fuck up. The capture card fucked. It was an
Oh,
old
right,
capture
right,
card, and it just crashed.
So it's nobody's fault.
It was nobody exactly, so I couldn't blame him, and I really wanted to. No, but like it was just gut wrenching because I knew it was. Up to that point, the best video we'd ever made, and even by today's standards, one of the better videos we've ever made. And just like it's gone. We have the audio, we don't have the video.
Yeah.
We can even if it was the other way around, we could have saved it. We could have at least voiced it, not like dubbed it, but like made a clip of it and been like, look at this shit. There was nothing. It was like an hour recording too, and it just destroyed.
It
me.
was funny because what happened, this is the play-by-play. So Jack goes up, he realizes, he turns to us in like this like shocked face.
I was honest. I was like almost emotional. I was so
It was
upset
like-
we
Like,
lost
we're
this video.
getting up and getting
Yeah.
ready to sit outside because it was so warm. So
Yeah.
we were like on the way out, and then all of a sudden just turns around.
And Jack goes, it didn't record. And we go, fuck, man.
Yeah, it was really like I was really annoyed. Like, oh, fuck,
yeah.
shit.
But then
man.
we turned and
But
we were
still,
like,
it was like super fun.
So fun.
Yeah, so fun.
We literally walk out and we expect him to follow us.
And then
We just go,
outside.
It needed to come out. It needed to come out.
to the desk and we go, I enjoyed myself.
Yeah,
It was fun.
Like, I understood like your pain.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's not half bad, is it really?
It was all. To be honest, right from then on, we've always had that approach. When it's looking like shit, if we lost a video, it's like the first thing any of us will say is, right, but we had fun doing it. We still had the fun.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, my standard is so fucking high that I'm like, I don't care. I've already lost the best video I've ever made. I can lose more. Who cares? But yeah, I see what you're saying. Like there's always been that I say funneling because I don't want to say it in a way that derogatives you guys.
Derogatives.
Derogatives.
I don't want to say it in a way that makes
Release the derogative.
makes it sound like I'm down on you guys because if we'd all been like that, the videos wouldn't have been as good. You know, that was what you three had to do, was just improv and make jokes.
Yeah.
But there were definitely times where have to. The thing I'm building up to is Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a great example of that, where it'd be like, especially because we've talked about this before, like. There's a lot of pressure on me during Dark Souls that you guys don't have, because if I fuck up, we lose 10 minutes of progress and we make and the video's nothing. I have to progress, you know what I mean? So there's Dark Souls videos where I don't say much at all, or what I do say is just laughing at what you guys are saying, because I'm so more than any other game, I'm just focused on don't fuck up, pay attention, because it's a game that'll kill you quick if you don't pay attention to. And then, but because of that, because of the slightly maybe repetitive nature, especially when it comes to boss fights, you guys would tune out a little bit of the game just to keep the video alive. Exactly what you should be doing. But that'd be like, I'm about to beat this boss, and they're not paying attention. guys, inevitably Cam would go, yeah, I know what's going on. Like, no, you fucking don't. You would have missed it.
But it was like that tug of war, you know?
Yeah.
It was like
Totally.
that tug of war.
My favorite was the dancer one, because we needed, like, you call on us to like zone everything out for you. So Cam and I put on a whirlwind of fucking, and then JT was like firing shots off at the same time. Basically, Cam and I just looked at each other for like half an hour, just like talking to each other.
We didn't look at the screen.
We were just constantly staring at each other, making jokes, and then Jack went, "Guys, what? Oh, you beat it!"
And it was funny because that tug of war, it was like, I feel like that's no matter what the channel was called, no matter what our goal was, no matter which headspace we were in, from the beginning to the end, there was always that tug of war, which doesn't exist in the other two things, which was weird to me. I realized this recently. Like,
I just want to clarify, sorry, because we're moving on to talk about that. I do think as well, though, the channel wouldn't have produced the content it did if that tug of war didn't exist.
And
it was a healthy tug of war.
Totally. It was just, it's funny to
I'm
think
not
about
such an
because,
my ass, for you guys, you know what I mean? We needed that more than we needed
because it was like you said, if we went too much to the video production side, it would be for people being like, oh, and now you have to kill this person.
Yeah,
I looked this up before the video, the sword's over there, and that's not fun, but we do need someone who's doing
and
that.
And if you pulled it too much to the other side, it would be Cameron Morris's avant-garde show where he uploads a picture of his ass and like
it would be
slowly turns for 7 minutes, and Cameron laughs at it for 5 minutes because he's the only person who watched it.
That's why I think the Dark Souls videos were so good. It's because like you were at the helm of everything, because you
was
were
the perfect
you were playing, and also you like had to like control the video and whatnot as well. So you dictated how the progression of everything, and then we didn't have to worry about that, and you'd have to it's not like you didn't have to worry about making jokes. You did make jokes a lot, but like it wasn't like a priority.
Yeah, totally not.
We had to bring the jokes, and then you would like captain the ship.
Guys, look at the screen.
And I think it's funny because
I agree. I totally agree. I think you sort of did a hand gesture but didn't get to vocalize it. I think that might have been the equilibrium of what we're talking about was the Dark Souls shit, which is unfortunate because they were the most stressful videos for me to make. Like, you guys are having a blast, and I'm like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up.
But it was funny how, like, I was thinking about it recently, like everything, and then, cut to, do an Arcade Academy, which is like almost like you employ us. I know. Spoilers, you don't pay us, but like you all kind of employ the ones that we need. You just go
lease us.
You lease us for a thing, but ultimately I've got no stake in it. There's no desire for me to go, well, can I turn this guide into me talking about penguins for 40 minutes, just because I thought it'd be funny. There's no bone in my body that wants to do that because it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like I have a stake in it.
It's the like. The two things we spun off from Arcade Crowd was a very much group channel and a very much me-driven channel.
It felt like
it's like we cut the rope in half and put the ropes into two channels.
Because then on the other side of it, Commit to the Bit allows you to join us.
Totally. I have never had that before. It's fucking awesome.
Because there'll be times
that was us for like a year and a half.
That sounds awesome. Why couldn't I do that?
Like, there was a point where like we would write in a sketch. I don't want to spoil it, but like a character was like, "Oh, this character could do this." And I was like, oh, yeah, Reese, you're right, he could. And I turned to you expecting you to go, no, then, we can't, that's too weird. And you were like, yeah, totally. And I was like, oh. And like weird shit that we would never do on the other channel because it had to be, you know, it had
Because
to
that
be
was
balanced.
the thing we built around
Yeah.
is that sort of content.
And it was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, well, let's just fucking throw it at the wall. And now the fucking new thing that we're writing that I don't want to spoil is the
He
ultimate
still doesn't know
version
about
of-
it.
We sound, yeah, we're trying to brought you up to date on it, we?
I think we did. I think we talked to you about it briefly.
No, we talked about you to it. We talked to him about it, but not like exactly what it was. We talked about how we kind of went on a tangent
Right,
and
right.
what
You're
it
talking about
what
the
it was
tangent.
going to be is
Yeah.
not mine anymore.
Yeah, Arcade Academy specifically. Commit to the Bit is very much for a long time we knew what we wanted it to be. We knew what we were doing. There was very little talk about like. I think we had one meeting where we were like, right, what content is allowed on this
Yeah.
channel, what content isn't, and there was like, yeah, kind of all just agree. Maybe there were one or two little things were like, maybe not, maybe yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's still kind
Like
of
one was like, can we do like use other people's footage to make videos and stuff?
yeah,
And
yeah,
that was,
like
a
reaction shit.
conversation.
We were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
probably not. Maybe in the future.
Yeah.
Who knows? But there was definitely this group understanding of definitely we know what we want on there. It's just
Yeah.
whether or not we can do this. Whereas Arcade Academy is kind of still in the stage of me just throwing stuff to see what sticks, and then I'll keep making that stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That's why it's been so kind of random since the start. Really, is different videos all the time, just like which ones are going to get views. And then once all this shuts down and I can really focus on that sort of thing, I will be like, right, well, those got views, I'm going to make more of them. That's an idea I can run with, I'm going to make more of that. So it feels... I don't know. With me and Arcade Academy, I feel like it still hasn't started yet. Whereas Commit to the Bit, despite us not uploading a video for a while, it's still like, right, I can't wait to get back to that because I know exactly what we're going to do next and what we want to do.
It's weird as well because with like people being like, oh, I hope you guys like get to do, you know, Arcade Academy type things,
Arcade Crowd.
arcade crowd
I know.
type things in the future, and like, you know, you can point them to stuff you're doing on Arcade Academy and you can point them to sketches, but I don't think that, and this is a bit sad, but like I don't think that will ever happen again. But not in a bad way. It's just I think it was done. You know, it was
Yeah.
like that rope pulling got to a point where it was like, let's just do something else now. Because
Well,
it was fun where we lasted. We did some really good things, but it's like I don't think that we could be like, oh, we got this new channel and it's just all the stuff you loved about Arcade Crowd without it feeling like this shit again. Like
Well,
we've already did this.
The thing is, the pulling again, it was essential to build what was built, but once the victory lap started, the rope was put down.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
just,
yeah.
let's just make sure, with the exception of a handful of videos like Dark Souls and maybe one or two where just, like, for the sake of maybe trying to bring people in who we could then direct to the new channels,
Yeah.
it's like, all right, guys, can we at least say the name of the game, please? You know?
Hello, welcome to Reese is like that was the script. We always had a script.
Oh, yeah, it's all script.
Always,
All script.
A rolling script. Just like,
No, I mean, you know, were I not going through something in my personal life that's getting in the way of this, we could have kept going with Arcade Card forever, but it would have just been
the same thing.
the same thing. And it would have been fun, and we would have enjoyed it, probably.
yeah, we would have inevitably
Just had to stop.
had a change again.
Yeah.
Like we've done so many times.
Well, it's funny, actually. I think I wanted to do that change, but it was, like, too late. It was like, well, no, the channel, we're nowhere ending the channel, so there's no point. Let's just keep it going. I think the next step for us with Arcade Crowd would have been making it a live thing. Would have been trying to break into Twitch with the show as a group instead of trying to upload to YouTube.
Right.
But by the time I thought of that and realized, like, shit, they're coming up every Monday. We could do something on a schedule now. It was like, oh, well, we're winding down. Let's just keep doing what we're enjoying rather than mix shaking it up and then we're doing something we
and
don't
it
enjoy.
probably would have been another thing of like, oh, one more year.
Yeah, exactly. And by that point, I was at a point where I was like, nope, I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my way. So, you know, I think Arcade Crowd and the channel, again, we talk about Arcade and Man on Fire films like they were, you know, completely different things. But Man on Fire spilled into Arcade
There's
Crowd.
definitely a bleed, wasn't it,
Yeah.
between the both?
Yeah, it morphed into what Arcade
And
Crowd.
it's not like it's not like we didn't do video game stuff before.
No.
Exactly.
Aye.
We've always had them somewhere near, haven't we, video
I
games?
still remember that weird game where you were two ninjas and you'd like be in a bubble and you'd be like, ooh, we did it for Jack and Cam.
The Ragdoll, the Jack and
Ragdoll
Cam,
Ninjas.
Ragdoll Ninjas. It was called
Dark
Rubber
Age is
Ninjas.
this? I
Actually.
don't remember this.
Age is this?
It was called Rubber Ninjas. Yeah.
Rubber Ninjas.
Oh, it's Ross in it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Totally. I've never seen that game come up again. I think Robert Ross might have killed them. Yeah, of course. So, like, when I talk about this coming to end, it feels weird because it's like, right, we ended Arcade Crowd and now we're ending Man of Five Sons. But it's not really. We're ending the channel. We knew we were doing the Encore thing before we started doing the final month of Arcade Crowd. This was always part of the plan. It's just, it's the end of this channel. This, way of approaching us.
And we're going to
making
kill
content.
JT as well.
We're obviously going to kill JT.
Because like, he's got
He can
no
only
use.
ever be on one channel.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, too sad these days to be welcoming.
I'm gonna miss JT.
Too old as well.
Too old.
Just when you're like old yellow.
Ageist.
I'll take out back and just get it done. You know.
Are you the oldest? No, you're not the oldest.
He's the youngest.
I'm.
No, you're
am I
not. You're the youngest. You're
No.
the third youngest.
Do you know what's terrifying?
What's
John,
terrifying?
I'm the oldest here, right?
Yeah.
Of all of us.
Fuck, I know what you're
John's a
say.
day older than me.
John Day older than me.
A day
Explain
older
that
than me.
shit.
Explain that shit. How does that happen?
We're the youngest. I'm a baby boy.
You're a big boy.
No, well, involved in the channel, Meredith's the youngest.
How old is
Oh.
Meredith?
He's like 12.
Yeah,
Is he
baby
legal?
bitch boy, Meredith.
He's 20, I think.
Oh, wow.
20.
Okay, well, goodbye.
Oh, bye.
Is illegal. End of the
And
channel.
cut.
He's 21. I don't know. He's young. He's like 2 years younger.
He's
than
9 plus 10.
9 plus 10.
Quick math.
Quick math.
What was your favourite show, Cam? You're the only one who hasn't answered.
Oh, fuck.
Yes, I'd be put on the spot, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I never said it wasn't hard.
I just do it to others.
It wasn't hard.
My favorite show. I know it's such a cop-out answer, but it was the thing that it is a playlist, and it is the thing that I had the most fun doing over the years, and it was the sketches.
Fair
Like
enough.
I know they became
sketches.
something, but
Yeah,
fucking the superhero sketch. Remember when we were superheroes?
That was part of Jack and
That's
Cam.
part of Jack and Cam,
But I mean, it
Yeah.
counts. You're talking about just making
yeah,
sketches.
because Jack and Cam had
Yeah.
episodes that weren't sketches.
Yeah,
And,
well,
I enjoyed those less than like Looking for Love. At the end of your sketch, remember with the fucking I still remember the cards when we threw the cards.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Each other.
And there's a bit where like, why am I drinking water? What was that?
just so you could. Oh, because you're all toasting.
Oh,
It's 'cause
yeah.
The concept of the
Yeah,
sketch
we
is you've
toast and
decided to
start
do the
laughing,
channel
yeah,
without
yeah.
me, so it's become
Yeah,
way more
yeah.
fun. Thanks, guys.
There's
And
the rope again. The fucking.
They're all fair.
you let go of the rope, and now I've got
Yeah.
rope. And you guys are like cheering water, and you just fucking throw it in your face.
And I was skipping down the alleyway as well.
Yeah, fuck. And I remember
Arm
like
in arm, like,
fistful of poppers as well.
that was. I want to do more stuff like that, which is like we just go, all right. We have a day off today,
yeah.
so let's just meet up, think of something to. Because like that's what Fistful of Poppers was. You were like, "Do you want to just make something today?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
You
why
came
not?"
over like
Right.
11 o'clock. We were like, we need inspiration, so we went for a walk, and then we went to the market.
Market,
And in the market,
yeah.
they were selling poppers.
Half
and
there,
we
so
were
you're
like,
like, "Oh, I
fuck
can just
it."
make a fucking."
Thank you so much.
West.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's funny. Honestly, Fistful of Poppers is funny. It's it's one of those
I like
things.
it.
It's one joke, and it's a good joke.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
It was one of those things like not only do I enjoy the video, but I enjoyed making it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a ton.
The process.
And it's just something I want to do again, which is just like we'll meet up and be like, all right, what the fuck are we gonna make?
Yeah.
And then in the day make it and edit it, be like, cool, and I just
Yeah.
leave it.
And then you didn't even think about it after
Yeah.
that. It's just like, and then the memory of making it is almost like even better than the
Yeah,
video.
yeah.
My sketch like that, because you two, obviously I had nothing to do with Fistful of Poppers, JT didn't exist yet.
Used to a glint in his father's eye.
Such a romantic way to put it.
my
Instead of cum in his balls.
He was still counting his dad's ball.
my video like that is the I don't know how well it holds up, to be honest, but I had fun making it. The Metal Gear Solid solo
Oh,
sketch.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was fun.
I like, for the record, I knew how dumb that was while I was
Yeah.
making
Yeah,
it.
it's
It
a good dumb though.
it,
innit?
I was well, that's what I want. I wanted a good dumb.
I like a good dumb.
Yeah.
JT remade that on Snapchat, by the way. I don't know
You
if he ever told
motherfucker.
you. He didn't do it intentionally, but when Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild came out,
Oh,
he did a video where it was a series of Snapchats where it was him and he tucked him in and like he plugged him into the car and he like went for a walk with him.
Didn't kill you in the end, though, did it?
No.
Yeah, that's right.
My
You have a
ending was
knife.
bad.
It coached me. Nourished me for the next few months. Such an enjoyable game.
I cut my finger so bad trying to do that knife thing. It was because I was angled up, right? So I'm holding the knife in the air, but I have to keep my hand out of shot. I'm holding the case in my other hand, and I just dropped the knife and it landed on my hand. It didn't like deep or anything, but I bled. I bled for that sketch.
Imagine you telling that story now, not having a hand.
And that's what.
A lot of
That's
people
how
will be
I lost
wondering.
Yeah, sketches were good. I always wish. All right, here's a good. This would be a little nice thing for us all to say as we go on. What, in a positive way, trying not to be negative. What do you wish we'd done differently? What do you wish had gone a different way than it ended up doing? And I'll start because I've got one while you think.
Okay.
I wish we had done more with the action stuff. Because we put out 2 action shorts. And the second, I mean, they don't hold up to by today's standards, but like the increasing quality from the first one to the second one was immense compared to
Be
that.
very careful where you tread, by the way.
Oh, sorry, am I insulting your performance? Where you peg the camera after killing John.
I wish that was still up.
Anyway.
I
It was the whole
I
camp.
might-
It was
I'll
an
pop it back up.
internal campaign
Yeah.
where we were like, bring it back.
I'll make that public. There's no reason not to.
Yeah.
No, I'll put
Fuck
it
it, who
back in the
cares?
playlist. Yeah.
The
I
damage
always,
has been done.
basically right.
There's nothing you
Recently,
can say.
very recently, I've started relearning how to use After Effects, and it is like it's kind of alien to me again now because I haven't used it for so long. And I think about like how like a second language Premiere is to me now after using it for 6 years. And I
Right.
wish I'd been using After Effects for 6 years because that is like you can do so much more with it. Yeah, I wish I'd pushed more to do more action stuff. Just see where it went. Maybe it probably again it wouldn't have made the channel world famous, but it might have like given me a skill that I wish I had. I suppose.
Oh,
JT?
Chris, I don't know. Do you guys have one?
Still thinking.
I think that something we wish we'd done more of or did something differently. I think I kind of wish that we had found a way to, again, this kind of goes back to what I said about fan friction, but to find better versions of each show. And we couldn't have done this. I don't think there was a version of the world, Altered Earth, where we did because of timing.
But
if,
if
like-
spreading us thin, that was the
Yeah,
problem.
and if like we didn't, none of us went to uni and maybe we had like,
Yeah, it's your fault.
but like we had like loads of time to spend together, and we was, we could have maybe done a version of fan friction that was like on steroids, a version of board game on steroids, like
I thought you meant literally. Giving Reese steroids.
but Reese is fucking better than coming.
Better than coming.
Shirts
Um,
ripped.
But like what I'm saying is like they were
Have you taken steroids before?
Have I ever taken steroids?
Anybody?
No.
I have.
Yeah.
Not for the. But
Yeah.
it was a
Oh, like a tablet or
it
something.
was a tablet I had to take that had steroids in it.
All right.
and then after that you were like, oh, it's
Yeah.
better than coming.
I went to cameras once and he beat me at a game, so I punched a hole through his TV.
But yeah, like I wish that we could have done a
I'm
bit
joking.
of a more
Cameron never beat me at a game.
He never could.
a more produced version of a lot of shows.
Yeah.
A more produced version of board games where it was like
Right.
there was like a game master, a more produced version. And
Can I
another thing
put
is-
what you're trying to say into what I think
You're
is
rewriting my script again.
yeah?
is
Can I rewrite your script? Because I think I want to like echo your sentiment really.
Okay.
I wish magic existed. I think that's what you're trying to say, and we were able. Because I wouldn't have wanted to not do most of the shows we ended up doing, but I wish there was a way that they also could have been the only show we were doing, so we could have given it all our attention
Yeah.
and made it the
Yeah.
best it could
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
because we were doing all these shows, a lot of them lacked a few things that we would have done if we were focusing on
Like
them solely.
Fan Friction was a channel.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
the John Tron show where it came out once a month and it was like really good produced and stuff like that. Except
Really good to
Yeah,
produce.
yeah.
really good produced.
I wasn't going to pick him up on it, but yeah.
It's the last podcast. When are you going to do it again?
But yeah, that's kind of what. And aside to that, because they would be more produced, because we would have more time, I think bringing in a lot more people that we know are really funny and we know have a lot of potential, but just never got to. Like there were a lot of friends that still, a lot of friends did get to go on the channel. We had a really good time with Tom on the channel, really good time with Mike. But there's still a lot more people. Meredith is a good example.
Well, let's not give him too much credit.
Like
Hi, Meredith. I know you're listening to this. I hate you.
like Matt.
Aw.
Like he's just.
I wish I'd managed to get Matthew into more videos. He was always never. He didn't ever love the idea of being in videos,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
didn't mind doing the specific ones. Like Rocket League Replay Showcase, he was on it with me for a
Right.
while.
Yeah,
But he
yeah.
was like super upfront after we did the first quarter. He's like, I didn't enjoy that. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm
Yeah.
like, fair enough, dude.
It's
I wasn't forcing you.
Yeah.
But it's a shame because I wanted Matthew in more content because he's a very dry, subtly funny guy.
Yeah,
but
he's
he's
so
very funny.
He's so funny, Matthew.
But then he was great for that drunk week we did. Like we ended up doing a bonus video because he insisted on letting him show the world how good he is at Rocket League. He was fucked, so he wasn't good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, Jack?
We should have more like Japan themed stuff going on. Maybe more bananas would be nice.
Oh, fucking hell.
Like, I bring my
Nice.
own, but I expect like a nice bunch on the table. That would be good.
I didn't expect you to have an answer.
Like
But I didn't expect that answer
No,
either.
yeah.
Well, no, because like again, going back to what I was saying, like I think you came into your stride by the time the channel was this
Bananas are
one
ripe.
thing.
Right. Yeah.
So there wasn't really
That's
ever.
sort of my overview of the whole thing. Like, when I think about it, what I think about the positive aspects for me was definitely the latter half of Arcade Crowd. Once things started to, I don't know, like the Dark Souls Let's Play was really enjoyable and pleasant.
Well, it was when I noticed you, because when you first joined the channel, for the first year and a half, the phrasing, the way you would always phrase it was like, you were helping us out. I never.
Yeah.
As much as I tried to tell
Yeah.
you were, you are. I don't think if you ever felt like you were properly part of the channel, especially because you were,
Right.
you know, we had started it and you joined after John and stuff. Whereas
Yeah,
with
John's got bigger feet than me too, so it's difficult to put my feet into his shoes.
Did you
know?
feel properly part of the channel when on the Christmas podcast I gave you like 50 hair bobbles?
Oh, that was a good point.
In
Good
response,
milestone.
he cut his hair short.
Yeah.
And Reese's like, well, I know my
Well, fuck me then.
Does he think I like teal? Get rid of this. Yeah.
So no, I'm not surprised here. You don't really have any thoughts of like what we should have done differently, because by the time you gave not gave a fuck, that sounds harsh. Like by the time this was something
You're
you felt
blank
like you were
slate, innit?
super duper a part of,
Yeah.
we weren't making mistakes really.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't
GT,
going
I'm not
wrong.
surprised you don't have any thoughts at all.
Not surprised.
What's going on, man?
I'm surprised you're still breathing, to be honest.
Yeah. Sometimes I thought you just breathe in and then forget.
And all of a
JT, I
sudden,
love
you're purple.
you, and I every time I've tried to give you this compliment, it's come out like I'm demeaning you.
Christ. Yeah. Well,
Reese, do you have
me
anything?
either.
The final back.
we still didn't like JT. So
I don't have a point anymore. It's been beaten out of me.
All right, a minute. We should have a money tree, so that we
Yeah.
can do.
That'd be nice.
I wish we did a lot more IRL stuff,
Yeah.
like sketches,
Right.
like short films,
Yeah.
because those are some of the best times I had making a video. And more collaborations as well. We didn't do we always talked about collaborating with other people, but then we never really did.
there was two big reasons for collaborations. One was it was with the Man on Fire side of stuff. It was very hard to find a show that we could fit people in digitally, like over the
Yeah.
internet. There were some. We did a handful of collaborations, but it was the ones we did. It was usually us in their stuff, not them and us stuff, which was great for them. It sucked
Yeah.
for us. Like Cam and I did this interview. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah,
I remember that interview as well.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was just like she did this thing. I don't remember her name. So I have no qualms criticizing
Full
the
screen,
interview.
wasn't it?
It was through full screen, yeah. Where instead of us being there or like live over the internet, she just sent us the questions and told us to answer them,
All right.
which meant like there was no inflection or any tone.
Right.
So
They did it for a bunch of people, right? It was a
no, you're thinking of the
collaboration thing, or-
Christmas thing me and John did,
Right.
where we sung Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with about 50 other people. That was cool. I enjoyed that actually.
So
That
it
was
wasn't
a
a
big
So much so that we
between-
stole the idea and did it with just us.
Yeah. No, the thing I'm talking about was me and Cam through full screen. The person was through full screen. It was one
Right,
person.
right,
She
right,
interviewed us about the channel.
Okay.
But she just sent us the questions and told us film yourself answering these questions,
Right.
which meant that every time she'd ask a question, there was either we'd be like reacting to something we can't hear, like we're hearing the question being asked, which is awkward.
Okay.
You know, like, oh yeah, well, what I think about that is, as if we've heard the person, or we're just like repeating the question back to her so that we can answer it. It was just awkward, just like a really, really awkward interview. But the other reason with collaborations, and with Arcade, once it was Arcade Crew, it was like, well, how? Like, how would we ever do a collab? Because we're always in person. We could never fit people into this.
We did. We did do one, and it was really fun. We did it with one of our patrons, Imogen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good.
That was really good. It was a kerfuffle on our end to get it set up.
It was
you know?
hard, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also hard to hear him as well.
Imogen, where are you?
The video turned out all right. But that was a pain in the ass, which is again one of the reasons why we didn't end up doing it regularly with collabs, is because like that's what I liked about Arcade Credit. Was I had to set the table up, set the mics up, took about half hour, and then sit down and record 5 videos and we're done. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't have to like try to get in touch with someone, because then you run the issue with that as well. You run into their issues are your issues. So if they're having technical issues, you're having technical issues.
There are shoes. My mum's upset at me.
But the other thing is, this is the other big reason why we never did many collaborations, and it's me. It's entirely me. Is that
Super
I
lazy.
suck at talking to people, and I'm really, really, really socially awkward, and I just never wanted to spark a conversation with strangers. I'm super bad at it. I'm bad at one-on-one conversations, so I would just put it off. I'd find somebody be like, they got about the same subs as us, make the same sort of content as, and I would like bookmark their page and be like, I'm gonna message them, and then I'd never do it,
Right.
and it would just feel awkward and never want to do it.
So what you're saying is you're the reason the channel's ended.
Yeah, I'm the reason you didn't get what you wanted, and I stopped JT from saying what he wanted.
Well, in my perfect world, they would have collaborated with us within the sketches. So they could have driven down if they were in the South Wales area. We could have done stuff with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. We don't live in Soho. We don't live in LA. We don't live in New
Yeah.
York. There's not like we don't live in a hub
Collective.
where you can throw a stone and hit like a YouTuber.
Right.
You know.
You don't know.
Where were the
Leith
beacons?
is the hot YouTube place, you know?
South Wales, man. Everything's like a half an hour drive.
That's true.
That is true. That is true. Right. I think that is a podcast. Wait, did we all answer? No, you didn't, Cam.
Yeah, I did.
What did you say?
I said two things, and then
He
you
says, "My name's Cameron. I'm a big dum dum."
Oh, yeah. I remember, yeah. I
You
remember what
remember when I
you
said, "My name's Cameron. I'm a big dum dum." That was my part.
Now that you've said it,
no,
yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
I totally
yeah.
remember it.
Yeah, it's jog my memory.
So yeah, this has been the longest podcast. Isn't it cool to do the longest one last?
I don't think it's been the longest podcast. I feel like we did a 4-hour one about
4
like Avengers
hours?
2 or something.
I think we've done a very
God.
long one before.
I'll just delete it. It's fine.
Cool.
This will be that long.
So yeah, this has been the Arcade Crowd podcast with
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everybody. Round of applause.
Yeah.
Here's to Jen. Hell of a
hell of a
girl.
girl.
Hell of a girl. Here's to
Couldn't have done it
Jen.
without her. Literally couldn't have done it without her.
Literally.
You broke a rule regarding Jen about 2 months into the channel.
What was that? You didn't want to mention her name.
No, we had a rule where we weren't going to
Did they
have.
upload me and her having sex?
Yeah. No. That was
carry on.
We set a rule way earlier in the channel to not mention like
The war.
the war, no girlfriends, partners, or anything.
Just mention them full
In case.
Full stop.
Yeah, he's got to get ready for work. We got to wrap this up.
Work, but like in one swift motion, he got up.
No, I saw something. Oh no!
Cameron just flashed JT. JT has seen Cameron's little dick.
What happened then? What was that?
He has
What was that?
very loose boxes on.
Well, if that's not a moment to end on,
I didn't even know what I saw.
you saw a little dick.
It's like a fleeting memory. It's like it's erasing itself.
Hunk of flesh. Like someone just
It's like
beat of bacon.
it's like a growth.
So I'd like to thank you all very,
okay.
very much for listening to this 3-hour podcast. I'd like to thank you three so very much for being a part of this channel, being a part of this podcast with me. Get that on
What are
mic,
you
Cam.
doing now?
Get that on mic.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh,
yeah.
baby.
And now
Baby.
while we all keep spraying more, it's gonna stink in here.
look at him.
Oh God! All right, we're gonna end this now.
Gonna spray a little
Cam,
growth.
Cam, get on this mic with me. Say goodbye.
You got really small nipples there, Cam.
Thank you for listening to this podcast.
No, he's just really big. So.
Did you Cam, any last words?
I love you.
Oh, that's really nice.
Last words.
Love you.
Just turn my mic off.
We're done.
You sneaky bastard. JT, any last thoughts?
love you.
And I also love you. No, it's not the last video, but it's the second to last.
There's a dog in the garden.
There's a dog in the garden, and on that note, this podcast is done.
Good night, bitches.
Bye, guys. Bye.